Hello. Hi. Hello, hi. Howdy, hi. Hello. Hello. Am I live? I should be live. I don't know. For some reason, the thing's not showing me as live. What is you doing, dashboard? What do you mean? Oh, there it goes. It just took forever to start. Hi, hello. Are you ready to watch a man, excuse me, a man with no emotion react to a 5-hour-long video? We're not going to watch the whole thing. We're going to skip the ending stuff and then probably skim through other things. It depends. We'll see. I gotta talk about this Dragoon skill, though. Because I don't know why it exists. Also, hopefully the volume's alright. But this is the live letter you can read. Hopefully the quality's enough that you can read. Be weird if it wasn't. But look at this. Why did they give Dragoon a gap close? What's the go back slightly? Well, let's just go back frames. So yeah. That. Why did they give them a gap closing? Hi, noob. But they kept the flowery dot application. There's the Durgan. New Durgan Splode. That looked like... What was that actually? I don't know. Like, they could have got rid of the gap close on the jumps, I suppose. Also probably a shorter cooldown and more useful than relying on your jumps for that movement, because you can't hold your jumps, so. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Because I forgot where my Discord is. There's my Discord. Didn't know if it was on that monitor or not. Yeah, it's true. This does have a rework, so. Is this like a second big hit during your burst? Because that's a lot of yumping during your burst. Paladin. You do be a cast. You do be a poke. Whatever that was. I like the animation for that. Wings. I'm pretty sure that sword thing is just a buffed Requiescat. Yeah, because now he's doing swords. Mini swords. This game likes swords. Wow, a 6th sword. Did they really just add another combo onto that? Or no, it's 5th, isn't it? I don't remember how many combos there are. Squishes ground, make ground explode with angry. Buffed vengeance. That must have been what the other one was the buffed cooldown. More warrior self-heals, probably. I wish they would just go all in. That's a cool AoE. Ah, there's the Giga Axe, I see. Valcleave with no gauge. He was in IR, wasn't he? Where's my mouse? There it is. Hold on. Let's watch that again. So that's a replacement for your normal fell cleave, or an alternative, I guess. That's the AoE gauge. Yeah, that's IR. He goes in IR. I got so used to hearing fell cleave, I wasn't paying attention. And he's got like an AoE, there's your spin move finisher, and then Giga Axe is not in IR. It's more than likely that Giga Axe is just a combo off of spin move. So you have to do spin move to get IR or Giga Axe, but he's not in IR anymore. I need like a go back 10 seconds option. Spin move ends it like it normally does. Well, you know, he already did the fell cleaves. You know what I mean. I don't know much about Astro. What's going on her? There's a bunch of cards. You can draw 3 cards per draw, or just store 3 cards. Heck cards? I agree. Brain no like card. Ooh, you draw 3 per. That cooldown has to be longer, but I'm down with that. Hi, Palm. Sleeve draws back. Big help. The healer ones are always like, I don't know what this does, it's just sparkles. I did see Fellest Cleave. I like how we just keep calling everything that warrior gets Fellest Cleave. Spin move was Fellest Cleave too. By the way, hold on. Did they give themselves gauge with a skill, or did they start with that? Hold on. No, they just started with it. Okay. Dance partner, doing that stuff. Your combo, gap close. Dance move. Was that, wait, was that dance move? But without dance buttons? Bird. There's your dance move. Did they do standard dance without dancing? Standard step, whatever it's called. Gauge with a capital Y. Pretty sure that's... Was that a new series of buttons? There were a lot of slashes going on there. That's new. I know that much. Hello, Mop. Welcome to Boring Man. Reacts boringly. Hey, it's Kitten's main. Alright, Kitten, tell me what's up. Slashy, slashy, slashy. Whatever the hell, swirly, slashy. So that... Yeah, that was a finisher. They just cast a buff and did a melee combo with no mana? Question mark? Is that what just happened? Yeah, they did melee without gauge. Buffed melee without gauge. Yeah, flamethrower! Yeah! Saw has an AoE. That was in the benchmark. So. Drill doesn't have an AoE, which is interesting. Or at least it doesn't seem to. Rabbit. Wildfire. Shoot bullet. Shoot laser. Shoot bullet. Fancy AoE laser. Acquire drone for some reason. You just pull a drone out of your ass. I don't remember Ninja's animations very well, so that's new. I can't tell you that much. Just a gauge spender and some sort of poison breath or something they just did there. What's up with the gauge, by the way? Is that for their clone? Toad. Fancy. Hold on. Is that gauge just... No, it's not for their clone. Because they're gaining it by doing something and then spending it on something to do something. It looks like they just spent it on a normal GCD. And they didn't spend it on that, so that might just be a cooldown. Or a follow-up. Wow, it's Sage. Do you like technology and lasers? They should have never had the AoE dots taken away. That was stupid. There's certainly a lot of that, and by a lot of that I mean they cast it twice, which is unusual. Black Mage. I know something with ley lines happens with Black Mage because everyone keeps memeing about it. What the hell was that cast? Oh, I think that was to get the stack. Never mind. What's up with the gauge, sir? So Fire 4 gives things. The dodge. Congratulations, your ley line's over there now. Cast enough Fire 4s and you can cast Fire 6? I don't know. That looked kind of lame for how long that takes to get off. Oh, but Flare gives you 3. Ooh, I see. Make the AoE interesting, or more interesting at least, because I like Flare. I doubt they got rid of Return to Ley Lines, because that still has a lot of use for chain dodging stuff. It turned red, it turned blue, different segments turn color. I don't know what this means, but some shit with the gauge going on over there. Now it's got a nubbin. So it has your standard not transition, phase? It has the thing where you do a thing and you get 5 actions that are fancy and it does damage. They're really gonna show the gauge and get 3 little red dots and not use the little red dots? They're really gonna do that? He's casting, watch out. Oh my god. What an AoE. Hold on. Hold on there. Hold on. I can't. Fucking stream's too long. Look, they got the gauge up to 3 red things and then never used them. What do the red things do? What the hell? Oh, okay, they started with 1. Have to play the class. I don't wanna. Come on. I only play warrior. Some sort of cast that makes a shing noise. I don't know what it does because it's a healer cast. This paladin sucks. Just gets hit by everything. Flies over. Alright, so you can skadoodle over for your holies and your whatever green that was. Probably a heal. Because that's what healers need, is more off-global heals. I like how Monk always has 2 targets, by the way. They keep doing this. What's up with the gauge? The fuck did you do to the gauge? What? Okay, that was perfect balance. And then you got the skill, which is different, but well, whatever. I don't... What? What if they got rid of Fists of Wind? They have multiple ranged attacks. I don't know what's going on with their GCDs, though. It might only be during wings, which would be unfortunate, but... Like, this is their normal combo. That's the 1, that's the 2, that's Twin Snakes, and then this is Demolish, I think. But what's up with the gauge? They get dots for each one, and they only use 1 dot and the 2 and the 3 to do something, which I don't understand what's happening. Also, their meter is different. The bottom meter. Maybe they have overflow on the meter, which should actually be really good because you overfill that meter constantly. It's for tracking a combo. That is what it's doing, but he expends little dots. Like, he gains the dot. Oh my fucking god, YouTube. He gains these dots for each step of the combo. And you only have one, you have 1, 2, 3 dots for each step. But then he only expends 1 dot to do something. So he regains 1 there and then spends it again. I think they've changed their whole combo system, because that scratch thing is different. That scratch is new. So is that, actually. I think there's like a spender combo and a normal combo or something. I'm uncertain. So I guess you would always alternate the first part of the combo, but then the other parts differ? I don't know. That seems odd. Dark Knight. Hey, look, a gap close that doesn't fit Dark Knight's theme at all, and is a little weird. Actually, now that I've said that, wait, Dark Knight already had a gap close. Why did they give it this generic one? Which I think is identical to the one the Dragoon did earlier. Kuro is probably capable of a lot more analysis than I am. Also, I'm me. I don't get very excited. Bonk. Hello, Bob. Welcome to the make all of the particle effects happen so we can't tell what's happening. The Dark Knight moved, but why? New Giga Cleave. Sudden music change for Bard. Alright, tell me what's different, Palm, because I don't know this shit. What's up with that bow, by the way? Has a new animation just for mages battle? Actually, is that the only place you can cast it now? I don't remember how Bloodletter works now. That looks cool. That's just Apex Arrow, but fancier. Actually, that might have been Apex Arrow. That's just Apex Arrow, but vertical. Just everything's Apexer era. Phoenix things. Stuff to use outside of your summons. Actually, you had Legos outside of your Legos. Oh wait, no, those were just, never mind, those are the normal Aetherflow stacks. I thought they were the other ones. Summons. So none of the summon stuff looked different. That's a fancy gauge. Oh, that's why it's fancy. Alright, so you get weird, skinny tech Bahamut. Why is it so thin? And whatever that was. I don't know, that Bahamut is worse than original Bahamut, I'm gonna be honest with you. What is this creature? It's like an anteater with a mask. As is tradition, I'm sure Samurai gets Giga Midare. Because what else are they gonna get? I think that was Third Eye with a new animation. Giga Midare. Do it. It's kind of funny that they just cast everything twice now, basically. With fancy animations. Yellow Scholar, show me your dumb looking wings. It does definitely seem like they all got an AoE dot, which again should have just been how it was to begin with. There's your wings. Oh, they look alright. That's a lot of serifs. I don't know what that was, but that was a lot of serifs. Why the whole outfit? Did the whole outfit change? It did, didn't it? What point of glam if you're just gonna make me look like that? Not that I really play Scholar, but it looks alright. Bye, noob. Enjoy rest. Alright. So Feep's assessment of Caster Ninja seems alright so far. Is that just a combo? Normal combo cast, question mark? So you can paint to get canvases, I guess, and then use expend a canvas to get some sort of effect. Catclaw. Boost time, yellow boost, catnip. It at least seems more unique than a lot of the other classes, I'll give it that. I don't know what the grass is doing, but presumably a buff. I think people will end up complaining about it if it has a lot of RNG because of what you paint. I don't know if you can choose what you're painting or if it just paints something when you use a skill like Astro Cards or something. But I'm sure someone's gonna complain about that. But it would make it more interesting because it's not static in that case. Like a priority system of what art to cast or something. Spin. I'm not sure what's going on with the gauge though. Like a huge chunk of this has nothing to do with the gauge. You neither earn or spend it for like most of this video. Well, there's a dot. Which was spent on Meteor. Or Comet, whatever. And then Big Star used nothing. And then we got a different colored dot and didn't use it. I don't know what's going on with the gauge. Gonna break air. Gap close, which is made generic to every other gap close in the game, which I actually don't like that they've done that, but whatever. You lost the gap close flair for each class. Now they just do this weird slide. Big swing. Weirdly animated Leon combo. I like that they've put the Leon combo in the game, but I don't know about having it animate like that. You know, what else are they gonna animate it? It wouldn't be the same combo if it didn't animate like that. But look at it. The weird float. I don't know, it looks dumb to me. Is it just me? Probably. I think it looks cool. Maybe it's because I'm thinking about how often you're moving while you're attacking, and you already kind of just slide around. So now you're just gonna be floating around. Oh, what's this? What? Oh. Oh, that was the trailer preview on the menu, I bet. Also, someone else pointed this out, which I thought was kind of funny. I don't really care, but the background for the menu is literally just the title card flare. They just overlaid the title basically on itself, but didn't line it up with anything at all. Not even the shoreline lines up. Also, this title screen's kind of bright, but you know. That only really matters if you log in at 4 AM on launch day. Hello. Oh my god, volume. Why was it so loud?
Hi everyone, welcome to Final Fantasy 14 Letter.
I'm not complaining about bright, I'm just mentioning it.
81st. Please introduce yourself. Please, 皆さんご挨拶お願いします。
皆さんこんばんは。Final Fantasy 14
I don't think I'm gonna get up on like launch hour this time.
Final Fantasy 14.
よろしくお願いします。
Thank you watching live stream.
Although I will log in earlier than normal, more than likely, because server queues are gonna get bad.
Also known as the Fox Clone, your global
Fox Clone.
producer here. I will do the MC stuff today.
Don't remember me ever doing that. I've logged in on launch hour every expansion.
Today's PLA Letter Live is a bilingual stream, both in Japanese and English. 今日のプロデューサーレターライブは事前にお伝えしています。
I've streamed most of them.
日本語と英語のバイリンガル放送でお送りいたしますので、今日はもう一人スペシャル
I used to get on early for patches to do patch stuff with people, but I have stopped doing that. Hello, translator.
Hello everyone, I'm here.
はい。ということで、今日の全体の進行
Why can't I see the like preview?
さんの背景、一緒に植物園にいる。
So I can scheme.
Some kind of jungle, thick jungle back here.
So let me quickly introduce how it works today's PLA Letter Live. So today's main speaker is Yoshida-san as always.
Hello,
メインで喋るのは吉田さんです。
Yoshida-san.
I will do Yoshida-san's English voice. はい、あゆみさんが吉田さんの英語の通訳を行ってくれます。はい。で最後に、私は自分で言ってることは訳すんですが、時々訳し忘れても大して重要なことは言ってませんので、聞き流しておいていただければと思います。And lastly, I will translate myself, and then sometimes I might miss to translate what I was saying, but anyway, I am not saying something important anyway, so just disregard if you.
I'm not saying important things. Don't worry
と
about
いう
it.
ことでよろしくお願いいたします。
よろしくお願いします。よい。ね、
はい。
タイトル画面、トレーラー系タイトル。
Yes. Show me the game.
もうみんな使
リハでやった時となぜかですね、キーボードがテレコになってました。
違うね。かと思うんですが、よろしくお願いします。
They do a lot of
Of
banter
course,
on
today
live
we will
letters.
be talking about the job updates that will be made in 7.0 Dawn Trail, but of course we will be touching upon other things as well. And this goes
They take a
there.
while.
It won't take like 6 hours for us to explain everything.
Oh, it won't take 6 hours, you say? I mean, I guess it didn't, but
いやいやいや、 持たないの仕事っていうのをできるところなんで、チーム、まあ14担当
What is- oh, that's a
インフラ
Viper.
チーム何人ももちろんいるん
I
で
was
す
like,
け
what is that in the
ど、
back?
24時
It
間
looks
交
weird.
代制でですね、ひたすらこう全で
The longest period we've been difficult. I mean, the attacks themselves are quite simple because it's just basically computers that have been hacked throughout the world, and these different packets come flying out.
Oh, they're talking about the
Whereas,
DDoS stuff.
まあ世界中でたく
Character to provide not only a status update. On the right is what we currently have with the
I did-
updated lighting adjustments reflected. The character itself is
Where is...
basically unchanged.
いや本当すいません、これはね
Oh yeah, that
僕
is
らが
right.
悪い、まあ僕も含めて本当に
I saw
悪かったんで
this,
すよ
and it's an
ライトを
absurd
ちゃんとした
difference,
ら
but I
こう
also
ある
noticed the
ので
character is facing a different direction.
And I really apologize for this happening because it is just a matter of adjusting the
So
lighting.
I do wonder how much of the
And,
lighting and shadows is just the
as you can
character is
see,
actually
it is a
facing.
much, bigger improvement
the proper
if we have the
direction to
proper
show the
lighting on
shadow.
character.
I do know the hair was fucked up
改めて
anyway.
見直したらですね、いろいろなんかやっぱこう申請の時に作ったこの環境を
I don't know why they
いろいろおかしくてですね
didn't take the picture in
なんか
exactly the same
一応
spot.
なんか若
They're
干の
using-
曇り設定になってたんですけ
They're
ど、
using
な
the
ぜか雨の
character
パラメータ
creator
ーも
to
入って
take
たり
this
して
picture,
て、
presumably.
若干キャラが濡れる
It's
み
not
たいな
facing the
ところ
same
もあって
way. The skybox looks different, but I don't know if
When
that's
I
just
look at
because
these
skyboxes are
different,
randomly animated or
elements,
not.
I see the remnants of when we kind of hastily put together the Realm Reborn environment, and there are a lot of weird spots that we needed to fix. So previously it was set up so that it's slightly cloudy, but for some reason there's some parameters that note a rainy environment as well. So there's some wetness that can be seen in the character and things like that.
まあというわけで
I will say, I think that, like, I know
ちょっとすいません、
sunlight
次の
is
サスライバーは
harsh.
全
It's
て
just
の
how it
マッ
is,
プ
but I think it might be a little
環境
too
を改め
harsh.
て今回のグラフィックスアップデートで皆さんがそのキャラクターを調整したり
Because, like, if you look at
まあできるだけインゲ
the
ーム
chest
の本当のライティングのいろんなシチュエーションに
That's
近
really
い状態
bright.
っていうのを作ってみましたので、ぜひこちらでまたご確認
I mean, that'll
いただければ
change with
と思います
weather and time of day and all
And
that.
so
I'm
we
just
are
saying, like,
preparing
that's
for
really
a
harsh
replacement
harsh
version of the
sunlight.
benchmark software, and it should have the lighting and the environment updated so that it reflects what you will see in game, and that includes the lighting as well. And so I hope you will stay tuned for the release of the update.
It does look infinitely better though. Just on like a general basis, especially eyes look so much better.
続いてですね、まあ、これはちょっと意見をお聞きしたいというところなんですけど、
Teefses. They did fix the
こちらはですね
Teefses.
ニコッテのですね、ムーンキーパーの剣士に関してちょっとですね、皆さんのご意見を聞きたいんですけど、ま
We don't need
あ
15 minutes of looking at
調整
Teefses.
はい、しましたというご報告です。
What do they
And
show
so
in here?
with this one, people have pointed out that the shape
Teeth
of the
on the
skull
left.
wouldn't allow for the teeth to be shaped in that way, and we understand. And so this is more of an FYI
Oh, I see.
that we
They don't
will
have
fix it
that narrow
to
teeth.
look more like the one on the right.
I see.
はい、というわけで、すいません、ここにちょっと挙げたのは、例で
Horror
各種族
Lalafeld chompers.
一つ
But we are going
ノーマルってるんですけど、
apart
メイクも
how long as it's within that 60-minute time frame, so you can try out all of the races, all of the
yeah.
different parameters that are included in the character.
They've
creations if you
adjusted
wanted to.
Fantasia so you have a 60-minute timer where you can infinitely readjust your character.
急にこの元素力の仕様のアップデートの話
Which is nice. I feel like it should just be 24 hours, but whatever.
中に吉田がイケメンに見えてきたって
60's better than
めっ
nothing.
ちゃじわるんだけど。
We're
They
talking
also
about lines on the face
really
earlier,
need to
how,
fix
oh, it would be nice if
Hrothgar,
it has lines, so it also
but,
disappear, right?
You know, because you can't
But
change your
once
hair.
we started talking about Fantasia,
Say again?
In the comments, of course, people were happy about the Fantasia. That's good.
When you
news for
use
us.
a Fantasia, you're given a
She does now
60-minute
looking better.
playtime timer to readjust your character as many times as you want.
キャラクター これからも、まあ、今回
So when you use a Fantasia and then,
今回だけじゃなくてこれからもね、
log in and something doesn't look quite right in game, you can go back to the editor and change it.
足したりということは、まあ、これに限らずやっていきたいと思いますので、よろしくお願いします。
And that's an in-game timer, so when you're logged out, it doesn't tick up.
We talked in detail about character creation and things like that, but with 7.0 Dawn Trail, we will be applying our first graphical update, but we will continue to look at the different systems within the game.
That's what I was saying. It should be 24 hours, but it's better than nothing, so, you know.
I hope you look forward to the different updates we'll be making throughout.
They
お
really,
知らせでした。というわけで、
really need
お
to...
渡ししましたが、
I don't think they're ever gonna do this, but I really need them to separate faces
Okay,
and,
so,
like,
that was a
features.
very long preface, but
Faces and
we are now
horns,
going to
faces
jump
and
into the actual
hairs.
meat of the presentation,
They
which is
need
the
to
job
fix that.
updates.
はい。
And I really don't understand why they haven't put more effort into
もう
that.
今やりたいと思いますので、画面お願いします。So let's go to the main agenda of today.
The main agenda, the jobs.
Adjustments. ジョブ関連アップデートです。
Show me
まあ
your secrets.
まあ、最初にちょっとお伝えしておくと、まさしく昨日から、
Or don't.
グローバルメディアツアーがスタートしております。
Mediatory.
プレイ感とかっていう部分に関して
The
は、
media tour videos will be pretty
情報が
big.
メディアの皆さんから
Give,
世界
you know,
中
the
ね出ていきますんで、
whoever you feel like watching, Mr. Happy or something. I don't give a shit.
まあ、今日はどういうコン
But
セプト
that'll
で
be a better explanation of like
最初
how a rotation might work. So that'll be nice to see.
すべてのジョブを調整アップデートしております。
And then
と
rotations. Of course, that does not apply to all of the jobs.
思いますのでよろしくお願いします。
And of course, with the new actions being added, some of the jobs may have some changes or shifts in their skill rotations.
Oh, thought they were
Of
gonna
course,
say
it does
something
not
more than
apply
that.
to all of the jobs, but please be aware that
6.x
the some of the actions that sort of replace the
I skipped something important. Was it her saying rotations? Because that's why I went back. I like this too, by the way. I got little snippets when I woke up this morning because everyone was posting about it. Oh, you're thinking of this, I believe.
same slot with the next action in of skill rotation.
まあなので今回やっぱりこう 7.0
There should, because I saw a picture of this on the subreddit. There should be a picture where they're talking about it. But to my understanding, it's like, I think the example was Dragoon's Jump, where it combos from jump into the little dragon thingy that you shoot. So you can have that on
So of
one
course, we
button
are
instead of
trying
two
our
if you
best
want.
so that we are not sort of overwhelming the amount of actions that need to be assigned into a hotbar with this sort of replacement.
Well, melee are most of the
system.
combo people, yeah.
And of course,
The
we
only
didn't
one with combos for
implement
mages
too
is
many of those, I
effectively
hope. But
Red Mage.
we were trying to our best not to increase the amount of
Summoner's
icons
buttons
to
already
put into
changed with the
hotbars.
Legos, so.
ただこれ置き換えるとですね、連打してたら誤爆するんだけど置き換わったやつにっていうのがございまして、まあ置き換えは我々設定はさせていただいてるんですけど、プレイヤーの皆さんが任意に設定できるわけじゃなくて、我々がローテーションも考えて置き換えを設定してるんですけど、あえてもう置き換えなくていいっていうのが設定できるようになりますというお話です。
That said, with the jobs kind of automatically replacing the same slot as you are doing your skill rotations, sometimes you don't want to have the next action automatically pop up into
If
the
we
same
can
spot.
condense...
And we have heard feedback
I should
from
let her
players
finish.
that do not like that auto replacement, and so we have created a system in which you can choose to not have the next action replace the same slot.
まあなのでちょっといいですよ出しちゃって。
Yeah, there's the picture.
まあ置き換えっていうのが
If we can
存在してるん
condense
ですけど
stuff like
もう
paladins, like
とにかく
fucking
勝手に置き換え
38
ないでくれ
buttons into a
と
much
いう
more
方はですね
reasonable
この
number,
置き換
that
え
would
設
be
定を
very good.
まあオフに
Because
して
some
いただければ
classes have way too
別
many
々のアクショ
goddamn
ンとしてこう
buttons.
設定することも可能なので、まあ、このアクションは置き換わってもいいけどこのアクションはやめたいみたいなのが別に設定できるようになりますよと。これはまあ特定のジョブだけじゃなくて全体に入ってますというのをお知らせしておきます。
Astra has a bunch too,
And
yeah.
so, as you
Even
see on the
just,
screen,
like,
there will be a slot
Dragoon.
where it says action change settings.
Dragoon's
So if you
basic
don't
combo
want for
is
some of the
technically
like combo
10
steps
buttons.
to automatically replace
Technically
a
it's 8, but I
certain hotbar
duplicate 2 of them.
slot,
That's a
and you
lot of
want it to be
buttons.
set up to be separate buttons.
Just for the
You
combo.
are welcome to do so by turning off that sort of automatic replacement, the action change settings.
まあとはいえ全てのアクション
Like I have a whole hotbar on Dragoon just for its
置き換え
basic
設
combo.
定されてるアクションに対して個別にね自動置き換えするかもしないかっていうのが選べるようになりますよということなので、まあこれ
I
は
know
実際
WoW's not nearly the same thing because it doesn't have combos or anything like that. But most of the classes in that game are
手
like
に馴染む
4 or 5
調
buttons.
整していただけたらなと思います。
It's wildly different.
And of course, this only applies to actions that will automatically.
Well, I mean, they're more, but you don't use
replace.
most of them
And so it's
outside
not
of niche
necessarily
uses.
it's not for every action in your job sort of utility. So
No boosts.
I would recommend players trying it out and seeing how it feels. Do we want to separate out the different actions so that you don't accidentally activate it when you don't need it? Or what kind of feels more comfortable in your hands?
はい。
Like some stuff I'd like to be able to use more reasonably, but I don't have easy to use hotkeys for stuff. Like, you know, cover is something I want to use quickly on the fly, but it's such a niche skill I can't give it a mainline
elements that will
shortcut
be
key combo,
across
so
all of the jobs. And so now
it
I'd
kinda
like to do a
sucked.
deep dive into the different roles. Are we okay to move on?
なんか火力が上がるとか下がるとかを気にされてる方がいるけど火力の話ではないかな、まあ置き換わることで他のタイミングで使うつもりだったのに連打してたら使っちゃったっていう場合まあミスになるので
I would like to, like, can we get more info on this screen? Like, can we see what, like, click the button.
There were some comments
Please.
about, well, is this a matter of DPS getting higher or lower? And
Bro,
it's
no
not
one
really
cares.
about how much damage you can deal. It's more about some people don't like just pressing the same button continuously and accidentally using an action when they don't want to, or they were trying to save it for another timing. So this is just so that in case you want to prevent accidental sort of execution of an action, you can set it as a separate item on your.
します。これは共通の
You're not gonna like click the button and show us the menu? Oh my god.
Starting with tank.
Gotta get the media tour for that, I guess.
します。で、さらにこれが強化される
Mhm.
っていうのが
We already knew that was being
ライザ
upgraded.
ルの効果時間がなんと15秒に
Really? You got
延長される強化が入り
we're,
ます。
one of the traits we get during leveling is to increase reprisal by 5 seconds.
15 seconds in the 90s level range.
なおこの、
Wow.
30% 軽減バフの方なんですけど、
I am
まあこれ
fucking
強化さ
pogging.
れたタイミングでまたジョブごとに異なる追加効果っていうのが入っているので、まあそれぞれのタンクジョブに合わせたさらなる追加
Now I can mitigate things with the exact same tightness because raids will be designed around the fact that reprisal is 15 seconds. instead of 10.
And of course, with the 30% buff enhancement, there are additional effects
can't
that
wait.
will be applied to each of the different tank jobs. I'm afraid we're not going to dive into details right
Why?
now, but yes, just to reiterate, there will be
That's the
like
point of the live
individual
letter.
sort of enhancements for each of the tank job.
What do you mean you won't dive into details? Explain.
かぶったら通知してっていうコメントを今拝見したんですけど、 ほぼ同タイミングで入れた場合にですね、
はい
サーバーでどっちのが後でどっちがその被ったかをそれぞれ違うメッセージで出すとかはね。
Yeah, the whole point of the live letter is to talk about this
う
new
まく
stuff.
話し合って
So
連携していただけると助かります。
There's a comment about
Oh,
how it would be great if we can get some kind of notification.
I do
if,
wonder when we'll
the
start seeing
refrain
videos because
casts
the
reprisal
media
and
tour
it
was
was
started
at the same
yesterday,
timing, but that
but I don't
involves
know
trying
when
to
they
get the
can
system
start
to
posting stuff
communicate
or if that's
who-
already
which
now.
tank cast reprisal first and sending a different message to the one that came in later, so that's a little bit difficult to do.
How is
So
that difficult
you
to
might
do?
want to discuss amongst your party to see who's going to pop your mitigation.
I mean, we already do that. Well, actually, no, we don't. Tanks just fucking wing it and then we'll figure it out eventually. But I don't know why they can't just have a different notification for the second reprisal.
なんだろう、90秒から15秒引いた値かけといてもいいですか？
Because doctors are assholes.
There's
That's
another
why it's so hard.
suggestion about can we extend the effects of reprisal to 90 seconds, but then then can we do a variable of damage dealt by enemy? So 90 seconds times the 15 seconds per.
まあまあ、
Math.
面白いなと思って。さあ、それでは今、
My favorite is that you show up on time and the doctor never does.
ナイトから繰り返しですけど、各ジョブ全部は言わないです。主だったところだけちょっと。
Gotta make an appointment and then sit there for an hour and waste
So
your
going
time.
into the individual tank jobs now from the paladin. Again, to reiterate, I'm afraid we won't go into details for every single job. So just going through some of the key points.
What do you got?
まあ見た目に大きいっていうところもあるからなんですけど、ロイエ3回っていうの2段目3段目をモーションの異なるアクションに
Gave atonement and animation, I guess.
これは置き換えアクションになるので、まあ、手触りは変わらない。手触りはちゃんと維持した上で、ちょっといくらなんでも
Possible potency gain as well.
グラフィックス変えたり新しいアクションにしてます。
That's a
First
great
one,
schedule
the
option.
second and third executions of atonement have been changed to new actions with separate animations. Atonement will change to these actions automatically on the hotbar, so input execution will remain the same. But yeah, that kind of differentiate the look of it, I think.
Does
is
Paladin
what
still
we're
do
trying
the
to do
weird
here.
two atonement
まあ
thing?
こういうのこそなんか
They probably do, don't they? I kinda hated that.
で新しいアクション作るみたいなことがプラスに働く。まあこれはもう連打してればいいから。
I mean, this would, if it has different potency, it would likely force the
This
three
is
atonement
where
every
the
time thing anyway,
automatic
which is going to
replacement of the
misalign stuff.
action
But,
comes in very handy. You can just press the same button.
But there's also a new magic finisher, which is already going to misalign stuff. That might be weird.
使っているブレード・オブ・ホニャララの後に、さらに追撃っていうのが、まあ、入ってたり、まあ、正当そのまま素直にアップデートされてる感じですよね。
Maybe we're going to loop back around to being
And then,
realigned.
when you're in that sort of damage burst phase, and those blades of something is executed, of course, with the raised level cap, we will add another tier to that.
まあ、あとはゴアブレードの実行条件をこうファイト・オア・フライトの実行に変更したりとか、いろいろ細かいところに手を入れて扱いやすくさらになるようにっていう調整をしてたりしますので、まあナイトはもうすっきりそのまま正当
Music is this, by the way. Is that Ulda?
And then this might be a minor, well, less major adjustment. In order to execute Goring Blade, you will have to have fight or flight executed.
It's really quiet. I think it's Ulda Night.
そんなところでよろしいかな。
はい。
はい。
I don't know why they did that goring change, but you only used it in fight or flight anyway, so.
行きましょうか。
Next is Warrior.
選手も基本は、レベルアップに伴って純粋に、アッパー
Three executions of Fell Cleave or Decimate. Wait.
まあ、
So of
テン
course
ションの
with
解放中
Warrior.
に、ごめん、いいよ、あゆみさん先。
So with Warrior also, this is just for the most part just simply
Scheme.
transitioning up because of the raised level.
ちょうどこれかっていうのを
action will be added for the damage
Primalist
versions.
Rend.
であとはナ
Primal
イトのさっきの
Rendist.
じゃないんですけど、今回インナーカオスのモーションペー
Fellist Cleave. I think we are just gonna call it Fellist Cleave. Decimate is just AoE Fell Cleave. It's the AoE
全然
option.
限ったことじゃないんですけど、ジョブでちょっといくらなんでも随分使い見飽き
Where
て
you
きたってや
smack
つ
the
をちょっと
ground.
新しいグラフィックスに変えたりしてるものもございます。
And in addition, kind of like how we saw it in the Paladin, but not really, the effects and the animation for Inner Chaos will be changed. We're trying to update some of the
I didn't
look
notice
of
that.
these effects that you see that for those that may have been kind of, how to say, people have gotten tired of Fell Cleave.
I actually didn't notice a different
で
animation.
は続
Reduce the number of inputs during burst damage phases. These are the changes that we are making.
That's reasonable.
まあ今ちょっとね、バースト中操作がめちゃくちゃ忙しいっていうところが
Actually, is that
まあ忙しさ
reasonable?
もね、面白さだっていうところはあるとは思うんですけど、今
I
回
mean, I think it's reasonable, but I think Min-Max Dark Knight used Blood Weapon
まあ
Repull.
遊び心地とかこう工夫する余地っていうのを増やしていきたいって、まあコンテンツに関してはそれらを
Was it pre-pull or was it first
まあ
GCD?
全
I
部
don't
始
remember
めて
now.
はいくんですけど、ジョブに関しては多分8-0からもっと個性を出していくのは8-0からにしよ
I
う
know you needed to shield pre-pull so that you could regen
And,
mana.
the reason for this change is sort of cleaning up and streamlining some of the busyness that happens during the burst damage phase.
I like this change either
for
way.
7.0 anyways.
Dark Knight
And
has a
then,
lot of buttons.
I did mention about how we want to improve the
Well, a lot of buttons that need to be hit at once, and then
strategize and sort of make kind of work their strategies as well as the developers kind of do creative
Internet, what you
things
doing?
through 7.0. So right now we're just kind of streamlining it for this expansion, and once we get to say 8.0, we'll start
If the stream
kind of
buffered, that was my
enhancing the
internet.
individualities of some of these jobs.
思わず
No, it was me. I didn't actually drop any frames, but the bitrate dropped way down.
やっぱりこう
It should be fine now.
変えていこうとか、よりこう面白くしていこうっていう時に、まあ大きくシステムを設計していこうってなるとやっぱり今のぐらいのうちからもう方針今の
But whenever we're talking about drastically changing the different mechanics of the jobs, or making it more interesting, more fun to play, and it relates to kind of upholding the system, so to speak. So we actually need to start talking about things like that in
You do,
the lead
yes.
up to a major expansion. So we've actually started to talk about like what direction we want to take this into like 2 months ago already. So
8.0 リリースデイっていうのだったりさ、
Oh, release
ね、スポイ
8.0
ラーみたいな。
Nothing changed until 8.0 confirmed. Who are you telling?
Nope.
Nope.
で、
まあ
暗黒騎士、
はい
ちょっと戻ってさ、
after Living Shadow will be added.
That was probably the cleave we saw.
Shadow, assume black blood,
身じゃないのみたいな。
proving
すいませんね
useful
こんな説明を
to
英
the
語で
viewers
すい
as
ま
well.
せんね
まああとはね、我々
Summon something, your
いや
shadow.
だからなんか発売なんかそれ
And if we
What
do
kind of
PLL
glam
and
you looking for,
Yoshida
Miggy?
reads it incorrectly, then we have your haters commenting, "Oh, Yoshida must not have played this job, whatever." But it's just so hard to memorize it all. So of course, with
A new
Gunbreaker,
action.
this also is just
A new continuation
level up,
action. I love hitting
with
that
the
button.
cap being raised. So first point says a new action that can be executed after Fated Circle via continuation will be added, and then a new 3-step combo that can be executed after Blood.
We do
Fest
need
will be
better
added.
shoe options. There's really,
まあ
it's really only like a couple types of shoes. Now that you bring that up.
これそ
Uh,
う長い技
and those who are involved with trying to bring this action to life worked really hard. So I'm So I think we
Melee.
will go through the melee DPS.
Pummy.
Of course, with
Look
showing
at that.
off the Viper and then
And a
calling
belly button.
up
I gotta
the
draw a
truck,
little heart
and
around the
then
belly
go
button.
into a bit of a break.
Yes, that sounds like a plan.
Toa's tweet made the news, by the way, kitten. The one with the heart around the belly button.
Okay, so melee
It's a slow
DPS,
news day.
updates that are made across the board.
まずレベル90台でなんと内炭の回復量が
Second wind
増えます
buff.
So second wind,
I'll still
healing
forget to use it.
potency will be increased in the 90s level range.
さらにですねレベル90台のどこかでですね牽制の効果時間が15秒に延長されます
And then feint duration will be increased to 15 seconds in the 90s level range.
They're just making everything 15.
まあ結構そのね早打ちしちゃってありゃみたいなのも
I don't actually remember what I'm wearing on any of my
まあな
characters.
のでまあいろんなこうアクションをボス側に
But I may be race changing anyway, so
まあちょっと使いやすさ上げておきましょう
would heck the glam up.
So yeah, this kind of is whenever things
Not
get
on launch
busy
day,
with the
because
different
that's I'm
controls,
not double queuing
and
just to
there
race
might be a
change on
misstep
launch day.
that. It's kind of trying to address that because in addition to not just the business
But at some
on
point.
the players' end, we are thinking about implementing different mechanics on the boss side as well. So.
Ooh.
強化と見せかけ
New
て
mechanics?
殺しに来る
Question
気だ
mark?
っていうコメントがあった
Some people are commenting that we're calling it an enhancement, but it seems like they're trying to kill the players too.
さあでは、個別のジョブちょっと見ていきましょうまず最初文句からです、
はい
I don't think changing it to 15 seconds does
ちょ
anything.
っとですね
It'll be useful in old content, but new content's going to be designed with that in mind, so it doesn't change
継
anything.
続ダメージを維持するっていうのが、ベースだったんですけど特定の順番で、アクションを使っていくことで、まあ、正しい
Oh, they
ルートで
took the
その
dot
アクション
and
の威
the
力がアップ
buff
するっていう
out?
考え方に、ベースを変えてます、
So with the monk, we've
Hmm.
kind of updated the mechanics itself.
Interesting.
Before, the basic thinking was about how to maintain your buffs or retain that sort of damage buffs and enhancements and things like that. But instead, with this update, it'll more.
I mean, we have to
enhancing
figure out
your
how monk
next action
works
by
now for this to
utilizing a
be understood,
specific,
really, but
combo route in the order.
I don't
まあ
think
現
stock's
在
seen.
も総流脚使うと次に使う連撃強化されるんです
I think he's usually
まあ
busy
そう
in the
いう仕組みなんだって
afternoon. Is he
いう
online?
イメージしてもらえば
Nah, he's
分かりや
offline.
すいんじゃないかなと思いますただ過度にシンプルにするわけじゃなくて、まあ、手触り今やってる手触りはできるだけ変わらないようには調整させていただきました
I think this is
Of course,
good for the
so
average player.
example, when you use
I don't know about the
Dragon
high
Kick,
end though.
The next action, boot shine would be enhanced, and it will be something like that. But we're trying not to oversimplify it at the same time. So, but we're also trying to make it streamlined. So we're hoping that it won't change like the feel of how you control the monk's actions.
で
Like,
ジョブハット
when you're
先ほど
in
公開したジョブアクショントレーラー見ていただければ分かるんですが
When you're in the flow,
追加要素が追加
Monk's
されてます
rotation
でちょっ
pattern
とね
isn't
一見
that
すると
complicated. It really just
複雑に見えるんです
alternates effectively. It
け
just
どこれまでのバフ
alternates
とかねデバフを凝視して
with a
タイマーを
delay instead of
管理する
every
より
other.
はUI の方が楽だと思うので
But if that flow ever gets interrupted, it's very confusing about how to
And
fix
of
it.
course, with the change in the mechanics, the
At least for
job
me.
HUD will also have additional elements.
So not having to
It
worry
might
about the
look
buff and
kind of
stuff makes that
complicated at
easier to
first
fix.
glance, but I think it should hopefully make it more not easy, but like it'll make it smoother, improved from before when you're just staring at your buffs and debuffs, making sure that you are kind of managing your timers.
It does still seem you'll have to worry about the chakra and stuff like that, so you can't mess up your lunar and whatever the fuck the other chakra thing was called. Lunar and
And then
Nadi, I don't
another
remember what it
sort
was
of
called.
improvement
That seems like it's
is,
still there.
can accumulate up to a total of 10 chakra
That's big
while
pog.
Brotherhood is active, so that
Big pog.
you can
Huge
prevent
pog.
chakra overflow.
ただ陸動制御脚の発動の時に、
Especially for me, I don't have enough ping that I can double weave on Monk, so I overflowed chakra constantly when I played it.
いろいろコンテンツに合わせてローテを調整したりしてみてください。はい。
This is good.
That said, there will be an additional adjustment made when you have six-sided star activated. There
Excuse
will
me.
be an action depending on how much chakra you have stacked. If you can utilize all of your chakra that you have stacked, your potency can be enhanced. Like there will be an effect that will do that. So you might want to strategize depending on what kind of content you're trying to challenge.
Time to min-max six-sided star again. Let's
じゃあ
go.
続いては、竜騎士に行こうかなと思います。
Okay, next is
And before they did the math wrong, and the best rotation is to just use six-sided star with max chakra the whole
大
fight.
改変入れてこうかっていう話もしてたんですけど、今回全体の方針としては純粋アップデートということで
Drexbane.
ちょっと忙しすぎるというか方向しての忙しすぎるところを緩和したり、
Alright, so
アクション
Dragoon
をして整理をしたり
effectively almost does not have positionals anymore.
So
It's
with the
just
Dragoon,
rear that matters.
We tried not to overdo the changing, but at the same time there were some pain points with
I shouldn't say
the
just,
business,
because there is
and
one
also,
flank positional
trying
now,
to work
but you know
with
what I
the
mean.
different positionals, and we tried to alleviate that with some of the automatic replacement of actions as you do your rotations and things like that.
コンボのこれね5段目に新しいアクション入るんですけど、こちらは
I don't believe WoW has positionals.
しかも方向指定がない新アクションなので、プレイの手触りは変わりなく新しいのが入りますよ。
So the first point says to reduce positional requirements for the single target combo, the fifth combo action has been changed to a new non-directional action, Drakesbane.
それからですね、開幕から最大火力出したいというお声が多かったこともありですね、ドラゴンアイを蓄積しなくても流血発動すると。
It looks like it used to have a backstab skill,
And then
but I don't see
to
anything more
facilitate
recent
maximum
than
damage
like 4 years ago.
damage output at the beginning of a battle, Life of the Dragon will be available without accumulating dragon.
Let's go! They have an opener now. Let's go! It only took them 8 years.
And then to reduce the number of inputs during burst damage phases, certain actions will be removed or adjusted.
Well, that's fucking broad.
大回収っていうのをちょっと期待されてた方にとって
What does that mean?
そんなに変わらないのかなっていうことだとは思うんで、ちょっと申し訳なくは思うんですけど、手触りをできるだけ優先してかゆいところに手が届くっていうところを目指しましたので、ご了承いただけると助かります。
So some people may have been expecting an overhaul of the Dragoon, and so
That's 'cause you
to
said it
those
was an
people, these might not seem like a lot of changes. But what we tried to do is to maintain that sort of play feel, but at the same time kind of streamline some of the pain points that we might have experienced. And so I do feel sorry for the people who had expected a larger change, but
I mean, I don't
do
see anything
understand.
wrong with these Dragoon changes, to be honest. Less to hit during burst is like, that's a debatable point, but I like it, especially because Dragoon has all these, you know, you got the jumps, although, you know, maybe you have less jumps now, but all these off globals and stuff to hit.
So there were also some addition to the upper tiers beyond Vorpal, Thrust, and Disembowel, and there's a lot of animation and new motions
I do
that
think
are added with those. So those might be something to look out for.
FF is like so
まあ
heavily
常用機会はね、やっぱ
burst
新しいアクション
oriented.
がレベル上がる
Like
ことで
everything that happens to the class is in your burst,
大
right?
事です。
普通に大事だと思う。
They have to be careful about simplifying
With
the burst
capping
phase
and having new actions added because of
because
that,
there's
like, you want to
literally
have, like,
nothing
full
happening
loading
outside of
I
it
think.
for any
あと
class
は
except Astro, I guess, but that's debatable.
スパインダイブさんをちょっと今回なくしまして、純粋に移動に使える。
It's not like, you know, for the most part, you're not worrying about procs and stuff changing your general
And then,
rotations.
there
You kind of
was,
just go through the
one
pattern
action,
and then do a billion things in your
you know,
burst.
Spine Shatter Dive was something that players may have used to sort of produce more output damage. But we
I didn't mention
took
this
that
earlier.
out. I'm afraid we have
Yeah, they removed that one.
And then we have newly added an action that will simply move your character.
はい、繰り返しですが、これで全部ではございませんので、他にもありますが、次。
You said they changed or did something with the jumps
So just to
when we were
reiterate,
watching the
these are
trailer
not
video
all of
earlier
the
because he had
changes,
the
but we are
gap
going
close.
to omit that for now and move on.
続いては、
They removed it.
です。
Next is Ninja.
一番、まあ、こちら、
Move to a trait, always be active. That.
多分気づかれてる
I mean, I guess,
したわけじゃなくて、攻撃速度上昇、まあ、ヘイストがかかるっていう部分は常時発動にして、
For all intents and purposes, you always had Huton anyway,
遊び
so
に置き換えてってるって感じです。
it just
So
makes
you may
super
have
low
noticed
level
this
ninja
in
less
the job
tedious.
action trailer video, but Huton, that has not gone away, but instead it has become a sort of trait.
示してたところまで大丈夫かな。はい。では続いて、サム
The level capping raised, there'll be
Tsubame.
additional actions, and then other new actions are added.
あとは必殺剣、グレンとか
Alright,
必
well,
殺剣、1000円
Samurai guy.
短縮する特性が。
Its casts, its sticker casts have been upgraded, and Tsubame
And also,
is on the make your
there
button.
are traits that will be added that
Or
they
requires it to be
incentive,
active. One of the-
which will shorten the recast time.
I don't play the class, so I don't really care.
からレムールシュラウド自己化を付与するものに変更。まあ51以上あるときに使ってもちょっと無駄感があったりするんで、ちょっと変えてます。
So first point
Plentiful
says,
harvests
plentiful
allow you to
harvest will no
enshroud.
longer increase the shroud gauge by 50, and instead will allow execution of enshroud. There seems to have been a feeling of waste. Now can be used when gauge is at 51 or more
I see.
without waste.
あとはまあ純粋アップグレードとして、次のレムール効果中に発動できるアクションというのを追加させていただいてます。
And another one is a new action that can be executed while enshrouded will be added.
This makes triple and shroud really easy, I think.
遠隔攻撃のハルパーを効果アップ中に実行すると、ヘルズイングレス
Because you can straight up go into your burst phase with like 100 gauge.
キャストが短縮された
Pop plentiful for the first and shroud, or just, you know, plentiful at some point.
And very minor, maybe a smaller update.
I guess it would probably be for the second and shroud.
Harp.
So do a normal one for 50
I'm sorry, I
gauge,
don't know how to
plentiful a
pronounce
free
this
one, and then a normal for 50.
If you have
Question
enhanced
mark.
harp, the Hell's Ingress.
アクション名の読み方が難しい
ね。
はず。
Action.
Hell's Ingress and
Ingress.
Hell's Egress.
そう。
Ingress
だからまあ
Ingress and Ilgress.
カタカナのままだと思います。はい。
They forgot the name of their own actions. It'd be like that sometimes.
さあじゃあ戻って。
Like a little bit of a
Vipper, featuring Catmom, whose mouth looks a little weird.
ここでするから大丈夫とか。
Some people are saying
タバコじゃないよ。
No,
皆さんのいろんな休憩を
Tell me about
今私が考え
Vipere.
ているっていうことですよ。
no, Yoshida is not going to
Looks
sneak
like a
out for
horse.
smoke break. We're just trying to be
Horse mom.
considerate of the players watching.
じゃあちょっと俺だって
What?
俺落ち着いてさ、
はい
What do you mean?
紹介したいもん。
そうね。
実機だから。
What do you mean?
すべての魔法。
1時間
Some people are saying
タバコじゃないよ。
No,
皆さんのいろんな休憩を今私は考えているっていうことです。
I no Viper.
no,
Apparently.
Yoshida is not going to sneak out for a smoke break. We're just trying to be considerate of the players watching.
ますよね。break is break.
Break?
The total length of the video is only 9 minutes,
Sorry,
and then the break is 15 minutes, so you can still have a 6 minutes free time. Yeah.
Oh, they got a little area preview trailer. Have we seen this trailer?
お前休憩
Is this just the one they showed at FanFest or whatever?
大丈夫です。全部見ても9分しかないですから。休憩は15分で大丈夫です。Yes. The total length of the video is only 9 minutes,
Sorry,
and then the break is 15 minutes, so you can still have a 6 minutes free time. Yeah.
We have 6 minutes of free time. Use it wisely.
Be back in 15 minutes.
Yeah. See you.
I think this is the trailer we've already seen. I could be mistaken. Look at them kebabs. Look at them beach. Look at them unnecessarily large door. And then technology. I like we went from beach to the tech zone. No in between, no nothing, just straight to that. Even got advertising billboards and signs we can't read. And back to the beach. This is the beginning of the video that we just watched. Except now we're in a forest. Oh, that's not a forest. We're in a lot of places suddenly. Like an old western town. Yeah, these are all the new expansion places. We got Old West, we got Tropical Beach, we got Forest, and then Technology. Also, the stream itself is pixely. That's not... I mean, my stream might not be helping, but their video quality is actually kind of bad. I don't know why Square doesn't stream in higher quality. They can. Oh, dungeon. Featuring boat. Yeah, this is a dungeon. Impressive ladder climbing. It does look nice. Like, you can't say the game looks bad from a general point. Someone was suddenly technology again. Someone was screaming bloody murder outside. Best song in the game. Although Rise is also pretty good. Like stung by a wasp, I would scream bloody murder too. Alright, this is where we get hit with copyright strikes because this is a live performance. Is that just the whole song? I do! Like, I would actually really like to see them live. Them being the Primals. I think that would be cool. You guys want to go to the Yokohama Arena? I think that's what it said.
入れていただいてもいいですか？
はい、
So
カメラにしていただいて。はい、ありがとうございます。
なるほど。まあワイプでもう良かったんですけど。
I wouldn't mind at some point going to a fan fest and seeing them live at a fan fest either, but
二刀流コンボって文字通りこう剣をこうなんだろう
fan fest be generally kind of expensive.
こう二刀振るのがウェポンスキ
You
ル
just gotta get ticket and a hotel.
で合体系アビリティっていうのは
Provisions
この2つの剣をこう合体してこうなぎ刀のように一つにして放つアビリティ群と
And extra deodorant
合体させた
and like
剣の
6
状態で放つ
masks
ウェポンスキルでこれでね
because it's a
なんとなく絵のイ
convention.
メージ文字だけだとね何言ってんねんみたいな
ダースサムシングですね。
うん
So just looking at the text seems very it's not very descriptive. Well, I mean it's descriptive, but it's hard to tell sometimes. So
Indeed.
when we say
What is Yoshi
double
doing, by the
blade-
way?
Or no, sorry, dual blade. Dual blade is
dual
where you
blade.
have a
Now they're
blade
both
in each
now
of your
everyone's doing it.
and so you have those weapon skill combos, and then you go into a double bladed where those two blades come together, and it has its own abilities, and then it also has a set of weapon skill abilities. Or weapon skills, sorry.
一体
Got it. Should you guys write that down?
逆がパターンも両方言いました。
ダースモールね
はい。
Darth Maul.
Long story short.
で、
That's
もう一
true.
個特徴出しちゃっていいです。アクションの総数っていうのは他のジョブとまあ同等なんですけど、セットす
Oh,
る
you'll
数
do
っ
it
ていう
for
の
this
が
class, but not other classes,
仕組みが
Yoshida.
今回入ってます。バイパーには。
So the second point reads, has a similar total number of actions as other jobs, but designed
Probably just
so
your
that
whole
fewer
combo
actions
changes
need
when
to
you
be
do your
set on the hotbar.
when you change
Just so that,
your weapon form.
You have fewer like icons to place into your hotbars.
で、まあこれから実機でご覧いただこうとはもちろん。
I suspect that would make learning it initially really hard because you can't like correlate tooltips necessarily.
置き換わりだったり1個前に使ったウェポンスキルで置き換わる内容がさらに別のアクションに変わったりっていう複雑なことが起きていて今どういう状況のバフが自分にかかってるのかとか
I wonder
どういったデ
actually.
バフを入れてあるのかによって
Currently, if you can't set a thing to your hotbar, it shows up at the bottom of your skills on that page that shows them
なん
all,
となく思った上で見ていただけると良いかなと。
regardless of level. I wonder if they're
So
gonna
we're going to
change
take a look
that
at
so
this
that
in game,
like
and
you can
you'll see
you can
that
see the
actions
level
will be
appropriate skills
automatically
even if you
replaced in
can't put it on your
hotbar. So
bar.
it might seem like we're kind of button mashing, but with the automatic replacements, sometimes it's might be a weapon skill that changes into a different action, or you also have to pay attention to the buffs that you are receiving or enhancements that you are receiving, or the debuffs or enfeeblements that you are dealing to your enemy to switch your combo route. So there is elements of sort of thinking about what action to execute next.
I love thinking.
まあ見た方が早いね。
うん
I think it's quicker to look at it though.
さあではじゃあ実機に行ってもらいましょうか。
出ました
We're in.
大丈夫か
I like how it has a Pictomancer button so he doesn't have to open the screen.
な。あとほら山が綺麗。
That is not very many
Of course, the
buttons,
mountain
I will
is
say.
very pretty.
If that is every skill the class has to put on a hotbar, that's not bad.
ワイがファンフェスで着せられたやつ。
What was that? 10
The costume.
21
Too familiar.
plus sprint?
Yoshida's appearance at the fan festival.
Nice. Nice things. He's 90? Oh, no, he's 100. It says 100.
プレゼントマーク見せていいだろうかと。
もう手遅れです
Like everything's a present. Also, he's not wearing shoes.
Gift boxes.
Yeah,
icon.
dummy icons
ちょっと待ってよ。
The training dummy is 90 for some reason, but
あれ、アイテムレベルいくつにシンクするんだったっけね。
はい
ね。
what is Yoshi? What do you do?
ど
Translator awkwardly sits.
よいしょ。はい、GM コマンドが使えません。これやばくねえこれ。IL これいくつになってる？
I don't know what he's talking about. There's a GM message in his chat log,
じ
though.
ゃあ大丈夫かな。ああ、びっくりした。
Double checking our
Save.
item level, etc.
あー危な危な。これね、いつもの神の力を
Just cover up the GM message like we don't know it's there now.
である AK ではなくてそうなんですよ。メディアツアーに使っている今 CK という
Show me the class gameplay Yoshida Orange Parses Black Mage San.
失礼しました。
He does actually orange parse, by the way, if you haven't seen that.
抑えられてる。
We're not in the almighty God mode type A servers. We're actually in the environment of the media tour.
まずさっきお話しした二刀流ウェポンスキルだけお見せしますね。
Okay, so first
There's
let's
an alpaca
look
over there.
at the dual blade weapon skills.
Or a llama. Is that a llama or an alpaca? What's the
これは
difference?
別にローテーションってわけじゃないんですけど、ちょっとまず前提を分かりやすくするためにいきます。で、
So of course, with the actual combo skill rotations, you will need to kind of weave in between the different actions and weapon skills. But just showing off what this set looks like.
この中段にある言葉2の4と5の数字がついてるところをなんとなく中心に見て
They cleverly put the tooltips in the
So if you
corner
focus
so we
in
can't see
on,
the
row
tooltips.
2,
God
the
damn it.
hotbars, especially the ones that say 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
これが基本だと思ってる。
I'm assuming that was a positional, so I went over there.
が置き換わって
We're just having to go.
わかります。
And you may be able to see that the actions are automatically replaced with the next.
はい変わってますねいや it changes
Is that just two separate combos, or are they some sort of... Because he went back and forth at one point.
で、合体剣ウェポンスキル
Also, he's got buffers.
を使います。
Next is the double blade weapon skill.
I like how he hit one button and 4 separate other buttons lit up, by the way. What?
今のこの下段
So many buttons have the little ants.
ブレードを合体させて、 攻撃していくウェポンスキル。
What do the buttons
So the
do?
actions that are assigned to that bottom row, row 1, are those double blade weapon skills.
で、こうやって攻撃を繰り返していくとですね、ゲージが溜まっていきます。
So of course, as you continuously execute your different skills, the gauge will accumulate.
で、このゲージを
Spin gauge interface do
それおろ
damage.
しっていう必殺状態に入るオーラバーストみたいなやつだと思ってください。
So when you
That's a lot of
accumulate
Zs.
enough in that gauge up there, you go into a boosted mode called Reawaken.
Also, I like how you had all of those recommended, including Asmongold,
合体剣アビリティが
but
ガシガシ
didn't
出る
get.
状態にな
Oh,
る
that's gone now.
と思ってください。
And so once you have that,
But didn't get Xenos. Real
mode,
suspicious.
You can execute the different double-bladed abilities.
Message gone though, never to be seen again.
We're gonna try some of them out.
わ
おーおーおー
You can't do your mod job. Why not? I was assuming that was you. Did YouTube auto delete that? It's a very rapid class. By the way.
暴れた
Oh, that was you? Okay.
でこういう感じで
I mean, I guess that was the burst phase. It's always going to be fast during that.
同じやつ
Even now,
多分見えると思う
it seems I don't really know what's happening with what he's
Because
doing,
the
but there's a lot
actions are
going on.
automatically replaced on the hotbar. It might look like you're pressing the same button, but as you can see,
No, I don't care.
many
That probably more than
different,
likely was a bot because we've had a message like that before.
速さはなんとなく分かってもらいました、
But I think you might be able to get a feel of just how quickly we're moving.
I think last time we had that message, it was the same Xenos wasn't in there for some reason.
It's about
I
how
don't know who's paying for those
skill
messages, but
rotation executed
it's
slowly.
kind of funny that Xenos is just never in
下
them.
がるんですよ
But if you go slowly, the damage output kind of slows down too.
Oh, if you hit your buttons slower, you do less damage? Fucking no way,
テ
brother.
ンポがいいので、
Tell me more.
こうどんどんこうハイテンションに自分のテンションも上がっていくみたいな感じに仕上がっているので、まあそこがまずはちょっと伝わってくれるといいなと。
I do remember when that started happening, because I think it was
As
happening
you
on
can see, it
Twitch
is
too.
pretty fast pace, and
People started
you've got,
blaming like Zeppela for
different
some reason.
actions that you're executing, and it kind of builds. So I think as
Since
you are
she's
going
first in the
through
list,
your
probably.
skill rotation, it kind of gets more exhilarating, and so I'm hoping that players would enjoy that aspect.
でまあそれおろしの間、いわゆるブーストオーラバーストみたいなのをしている状態の時っていうのは、先ほどお話した合体剣アビリティが特別に2秒でグローバルクールダウンが回るような状態にアビリティが
Mode, the let's see, the global recast, or sorry, the cooldown is 2 seconds, but you need to execute your different sort of double-bladed abilities and try not to sort of waste your recast time as it sort of counts back down.
She struggles a lot whenever there's new stuff. I mean, I can't really blame her.
それおろし
She's a lot more comfortable when it's not
正式アクション名
new.
なんですけど、これねジョブクエストやらないと何のこっちゃ分かんないんで、今便宜上そう呼んでます。
So of course, we have called it Aura Burst just for convenience sake. But if you play through the
It's
Job
like-
Quest series, you'll understand.
It's
the
like she
naming
doesn't have very good
behind,
notes
the
sometimes or
Reawaken,
something.
Action. So
まあ素剣おろしではない。
the Japanese says "sore oroshi." Sounds very similar to soken, but not soken.
You legitimately cannot see your character during your burst. I mean, like half the animations appear to instant transmission you around. But there's so much fucking particle effect during your burst on this
話す内容と
class?
しては割とシンプル。ただ、今、この通常の、二刀流ウェポンスキル。基本は、
Many
ようわ
button.
からない人はまず最初のうちは光ってるアクションを押してきゃいいです。
はははは。
So, there's not much to say about it because it's quite straightforward. But basically, like until you get used to it, I think it's best to just follow which icons kind of light up between the double blade and the dual blade abilities.
It looks like it has some sort of balancing act between the blades. I don't necessarily know what all the colors means, but it looks like you have to
範囲攻撃用なので。
use certain skills that use a specific blade.
あと単体から範囲へコンボをつなぐ
Kinda deal.
というつなぐっていうかローテーション的には必要ないんだけどID とかやってる時に
I mean, it's gonna have more than likely a static rotation. It looks very confusing right now, but it's probably just a static rotation and I just don't understand it.
And of course, the ones on the right-hand side are more for your AoE attacks. Of course, some of the combos, it doesn't require you to do it, but like say for example, you're in an instance dungeon and once you kind of like have your tank pulled up all the mobs kind of together.
You know, when you AoE in dungeons, in case you've never AoE'd in this game before, it'd be alarming.
An instant debuff on that end. So you have to pay attention to how much of that you have left and choose the action that corresponds to whatever enhancement or enfeeblement that is assigned.
We'll see a possibly better explanation from Mediator.
And necessarily be up close to the boss character, or say, do you want to take advantage of the enhancement that you have to execute those actions, or do you decide, okay, well, I'm gonna let it go this turn and then come back to it some other time, etc.
Do appreciate that it has a ranged option.
Buffs and debuffs kind of affect your choice in which action to execute.
合体剣ウェポン
Don't forget to play all for the AoE statement. Yeah.
それによっての
It's fair.
相談入れると一応合体剣が
So we recommend you get some practice, maybe use a striking dummy to get used to the actions.
Like, look at what's going on in this burst, man. Also, it does the same thing a couple classes do, like Machinist, where it shortens your GCD.
ああなるほどなるほどそういうことね
So, fuck me, I guess,
そういう
until
確かに
no Clippy
そう
gets
これ
patched.
一個補足なんですけど
Because I can't double weave. I can't weave at all on 1.5, actually. I can't off global 1.5 without clipping.
それは付与したバイパーからの
Very good net code.
なのでシナジーとかじゃない
Yo,
っていう
show me
のを
Pictomancer. Explain Picto. I've had enough of this Vipair. I get the general concept, I just need details.
That is not the case. We have set up the job HUDs so that it'll guide you.
やり込ん
Explain. You can really get.
And as nice
involved
as it
in
is to have her
so,
translating, it's not
if you're
going to
interested
be
in utilizing this job.
the best info, probably.
You're wanted to kind of dig deeper into it, so apologies, but we'll move on. I don't know. Maybe it might be.
最初
Show me Hikato, or this actually.
Healing potency will be increased in the 90th level range.
So everyone's second one's stronger. Bunny back, by the way. Ooh. Ooh.
ダメージ軽減バフ効果量を、15% に強化というのが入っております。
An increase in damage reduction.
Also, damage reduction of job exclusive
Interesting.
defensive abilities will be increased to 15% in the 90s level range.
全体的に
They're buffing
たくさん入るようにはなるんですけど、その分
self-heal and seemingly every defense
Of
cooldown.
course, overall, we will be seeing a
Party-wide
increase
defense
in the
cooldown.
defensive abilities, but that also probably means there's going to be various different attacks that will come from the different enemies.
Which
それでは
again makes you
レンジ
stronger, but the fights are going to be designed around that, so does it really
目
matter?
はこちら、
It's just going to punish you more for parties that don't use those buttons.
賢人のバラード、軍神のパイオ
Which is fine for, you know,
敵への攻撃を
early
伴わないバファ
The
アクション
competent people are around, but that's going to be rough later, I think.
So first point reads, Mage's Ballad, Army's Paeon, and the
Also,
Wanderer's
look, they
Minuet
fixed it so
will
you can
change
keep your song
into
rotation
buffering
without a target.
actions which do
Wow.
not attack enemies.
で、さらにもう一個代表的なので言うと、ピッチパーフェクト、まあ多数の敵との
Now
戦いで
your
も
song rotation doesn't get horrifically
こと
ruined.
になるように範囲設定を付け加えさせてもらってます。
And another notable point here is Pitch
Yeah, that's why I
Perfect will be
mentioned it,
changed
because anytime you had
to AoE
downtime, it
attack
fucked your
based
entire
on
pattern.
encounters with multiple enemies.
まあ、あと
Now you can
は
take the theoretical option of keeping it flowing. There's probably gonna be like optimized min-max
こうブロックシャストレートショット実行化
kind of
あと
stuff
範囲の時の
that messes with the normal pattern, but you can probably get away with just having the normal pattern the whole fight.
整理して、まあ、ブロックが共通化されるんで発生したら単体に使うか範囲に使うかを、まあ、そのシチュエーションに応じてこう選択できるようにしたりとかそういった細かいところも調整しております。
Various other updates include some of the procs, the single attack proc Straight Shot Ready, and then AoE proc Shadow Bite Ready will become merged so that we can kind of
Hog?
organize the elements. So the procs are going to be kind of streamlined, so to speak. But you'll be able to sort of select whether you want to utilize your proc for a single target attack or an AoE attack.
I don't know if this is beneficial to
まあ
gameplay,
他にも
but it sounds nice.
使いやすくなるようにの調整は入れてますが、だいたい銀融指示こんなところかなと思います。
In theory, this would allow you to
There will be other
do
minor updates that are added to
like a
the board, but I
focused
think that
single target
covers, the main
rotation and then spend procs on AoE, right?
来られた遅れて来られた方のために今日
I don't know the use cases of that, but it would open it
全
up.
部の変更点とか全部の追加アクションをご紹介してるわけじゃなくてそういったところはメディアツアーが始まっておりますのでメディアの皆さんからめちゃくちゃな詳細が出ると思いますのでそちらをご覧いただければと思ってます、はい
And for those who are joining later in the broadcast,
Hi.
just to reiterate, we are not going to be covering every single detail of the new actions or the
Add phases?
additional
Well, normally
elements
you'd
to
want
each of the job
to AoE in
to the
general,
jobs.
right?
We
Because it's
have
just
a
more
global
potency.
media tour that's happening right now, so we will be seeing
But I guess maybe
articles,
there's a scenario
our
where the
area
ads
will be
don't have a
describing
lot of
those in more
HP and you want to
detail.
keep hitting the boss. Like,
では続けて
Garuda and Uwu,
気候種
those things that spawn are really weak. So I guess that could be beneficial there.
まあこち
Because
ら
you
も
could keep hitting
自然と同じく
Garuda and then
ですね
proc your
基本的に
AoE.
遊びやすくなる調整とレベルアップに伴う新規アクションの追
Or
加っていうところが中心になってます。
The ads in Living Liquid
So Machine
and
is
T.
also very similar to the Bard.
You could
We
chip their
are
health
just trying
down
to
a little bit by
streamline
doing
things
AoE or
and
something
make
like that.
adjustments so that it is smoother to utilize, and then just adding some new.
That's the same
actions
as
with
Reaper,
raises
which
the level.
sounds like a good thing to do to me.
まあヒートが51以上ねこうあった時に溢れるみたいなやつとかまあその辺のこういった効果を調整
It's gauge
あとは
management simply.
もう一個出して
And
る
I have tiny brains, so I mess that up sometimes.
ドリルをチャージアクション化するはい
I like how this is like the big selling point. You have a trait which gives you charges on drill.
Preventing waste.
Let's
when your
fucking
heat gauge
go.
Is at 51 or more, and then the second one is new trait which accumulates charges for the drill will be added.
I mean, it's nice, but like as a selling point, I don't know.
何ドリルを頭に装備だってっていう謎のコメントを見てちょっと吹いてしまった
Sorry, just kind of cracked up at a comment somebody made about.
It seems to imply there was nothing more interesting than that.
あとはシンプルにヒートブラストガウスラウンド リコシェットの上位版みたいなアクションというのも追加されますので、そういったところも楽しみにしておいていただければと思います。
And of course, you've
I wonder
got,
what sort of
the
combo
upper tier
actions
of
Machinist will have access to.
actions,
Because those
added
OG
for
CDs do fuck me up
blast,
too.
Gauss round, and ricochet with the level cap being raised.
Wait, what was that?
さて続いては
The upper tier actions added for heat blast, Gauss round, and ricochet with the level
I
cap
don't know.
being raised.
I thought she was saying they're getting another, like, stack, which would seem stupid.
Next is
But I think they're just getting
Dancer.
buffed.
踊り子は本当に純粋にレベルアップに伴うアクション追加、まあ既存アクションからさらにこう追撃を出せるみたいなところが本当にメインになります。
So with the dancer too, it's just a simple sort of expanding of the actions with the raised level cap, and then some additional like follow-up attacks that are added onto existing actions.
まあ今もう出てるの
Dancer I sleep.
もう一個出しちゃって大丈夫です。テクニカルフィニッシュ後に使用できる、スプリを消費するアクションをさらに
New
ね
burst skill.
So that first point is of
All
course
right.
as written, and then a new action which consumes is go here, here,
What was that noise?
here, 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 here.
感じです。
And then there's also an action that will allow or grant the effects of standard step without having to have to go through the step
Okay.
actions. or
So they did
something
do
like that.
standard step without dancing. I thought that's what happened. I got confused.
さてさて大丈夫ですか。そうなんですよ。正当まっすぐ進化してるんで、あんまり話することがなくてですね。
This is quite straightforward, so there isn't really much to add here.
Oh, it's her saying here. That's what it is. Like her voice cracked or something when she said that.
そうだよね。大丈夫ですか。短縮。
Swift cast
Fast
recast.
will be reduced to 40 seconds in the 90s
Interesting.
range.
Interesting.
込みやすくなるんじゃないかなとは思いますね。
Now Black Mage is even more mobile.
It'll make it make for opportunities to weave in more things.
さらにもう一個変更って見やすくなるんで、他ロールと同じ
Battle's duration is up, same as normal.
こちらです。
So the biggest
Ooh. Ooh. That's good. That's actually really good. So normally all Umbral does is it increases your MP tick, which is reliant on the server tick, which you can't see unless you use add-ons. But now it just lands when you cast, or it gives you the MP when you cast the spell, which means your rotation can't get fucked up by a weird server tick. Which I've actually had a couple times. It should make it a lot smoother, and you won't need as many fillers to ensure that you get the MP tick from the server. Because that's what happens a lot. You cast spells in Umbral to ensure that you get the MP tick.
major update.
Now, if you don't
for
need to do
Black
that, that'll
Mage
make
is
the
this.
rotation a bit more
MP が
logical, I would
サーバータ
assume.
イムのタイミン
That's
グ
pretty
で
good.
回復す
I
る
like
っ
that.
ていうところもやめました。変えてしまいました。
So the restoration of
That also means you can move fillers to other places
has
without
been
so much of a
updated
loss.
so that it's not dependent on the time elapsed.
まあやっぱりこれ最後まで残ってた申請の時の仕様で、まあものすごく他のジョブがローテーション確定していく中、どれが正解なのかわからないっていうところがあったので、仕様を変更しました。
Yan yan yan.
So this was one of the specifications that remained
I like this summoner
from,
art, by the way.
when we relaunched as ARR, and we were trying to figure out how we wanted to settle on this, but I think we have not made our
It,
decision, but like this is how the conclusion we've come to at this time.
it took them since A Realm Reborn to come to the conclusion that they shouldn't use server ticks for this.
取れましたが、ついに黒マモンが
What?
一回出したやつを一回だけ再設置できるというアクションが追加されております。
And then the second point here, you may have noticed in the job action video, but once you lay your ley lines,
Imagine if they had
just
fixed
once,
this
you will
when
be-
Enochian
this
came
action
out
will
originally
allow
and you
for
had that
to
shortened Enochian
reposition your
every time you
ley
did
lines.
Blizzard.
まあなので置い
That
た
would have
瞬
been nice.
間に
Because that rotation was all fucky.
涙に濡れるみたいなことはなくなるので、誰かにステップしてそこに再設置してもらえれば使える感じですね。はい。
So now, whenever you run into and have to move,
次のとこ
I think it.
Pick up your ley lines and move, you fuckers. They still won't move at AoEs, even though they're like the most mobile caster, because Summoner's not a caster.
によってこう呼ばれた実はあの姿
A
は
new
違
summon
うんじゃない
akin to
かみたいな
Bahamut and
ある
Phoenix will be added.
なんでもう一体ちょっと
I don't-
違う姿のバハム
I don't think Solar Bahamut looks cool. It doesn't sound cool either.
There were
Solar
rumblings about
Bahamut.
how the current Bahamut looks something along the lines of what you may what the Allegan Empire might have described Bahamut is, and
I
perhaps
wonder.
this might not be its true form. So that was kind of the thinking behind bringing in another Bahamut with a different appearance.
Summoner's rotation pretty much works perfectly for aligning to buffs. Like you always go back to Bahamut essentially. You get what, like 2 filler
And the
casts or
second
something?
point says a new action that can be executed after
If-
Searing Light would be added. So
What?
basically, after the party buff action, which is Searing Light, there will be an action that will allow for you to attack.
Weird.
なので召喚師も
If they don't replace a summon with Solar Bahamut, like if it's its own thing, that's gonna make the
So
rotation
with
weird.
the introduction of a new summon, your skill rotations will, of course, be updated based on that.
Yeah.
まあ具体的に言うと
Like if it's not summon Bahamut and Phoenix and get Solar Bahamut as a replacement instead of them, it's gonna shift your whole rotation by 15 seconds or something.
Specifically speaking, you'd be summoning Solar Bahamut, then Bahamut, Solar Bahamut again, and then Phoenix.
Oh, well, there you go. That fixed that problem by just duplicating it twice for some reason. That's a weird way to do it.
結果をお伝えしようと思います。
So
and
every
also,
60 you summon Solar
perhaps
Bahamut.
is the resurrection.
今回のアップデートが、まあ、純粋に使い勝手向上まっすぐ
Which means
ア
you're
ップグレードしていこうということなので
Is it every 60?
7.X シリーズでは残すことに
Yeah, it is every 60. Your 2-minute buff summon changes.
And so, with the updates that
Doesn't
we
it?
are applying
No, it doesn't.
for this upcoming expansion, was focused on
Yeah, it's always solar. Never
how
mind.
to
I'm dumb.
streamline these different actions for the different jobs, or how to make it smoother and more comfortable for the players. And so, after
I can
much,
count, I
much
promise.
heated debate, we will be keeping Resurrection throughout 7.0 and 7.x.
ただ今後まあさっき前半でもその
Can still revive.
みたいなところの話をスタートして
Not perma-deathing us.
軽くしましたけど、その中ではおそらくジョブの個性をさらに出していくっていう上でもなくなっていく可能性が非常に高いと思いますので、ちょっとここはね永久にそうってわけじゃない。
I wonder what the community would do if FF moved to like a WoW buff system.
残すということに判断しました。
That
Where you got,
said,
like, one
I did
buff
briefly
per
mention
fight,
about how
basically.
discussions for the next expansion, potential 8.0, has
Implode.
already started.
You get
and we're
that
discussing about how
massive,
to
like,
bring out the
big
individuality
haste buff
of
or
the
whatever.
different jobs there's a high chance that we might have this discussion and
Because I don't like
resurrection
2-minute
might
either.
be removed from the skill set of the summoner. But
I don't like how strict it
for
makes
now,
everything,
for the
all the
time being,
design.
throughout the 7.x series, we will keep it in its skill set.
さあ召喚士
They may eventually be removing revive, by the way.
Okay,
Next is the red mage.
Red
まず
Mage.
一つ目、まあ、基本的には
Same as the other stuff. I again think this is a good change.
アクシ
So
ョン追加っていうところが主になってます。
So of course with the red mage,
So that explains
also,
the
basic
they did a
things
combo
behind
without
the
using mana.
upgrades are the usability, making it more streamlined, and also adding new actions with the raised level cap.
そうまあ、特にねマナフィケーションの効果っていうのがマナ50上昇だったんですけど、魔法剣コンボ実
I
行
like
か
this
と
change.
いうステータス付与に変えることでですね、溢れ問題をちょっと解決したいというところがあってこういった変更を行ってます。
partly because it'll allow me to play all these classes without using my brain quite as much, but it'll help the average too.
Increase black and white mana by 50, but it's going to be changed.
Because you can't really
into
fuck up
something that
your
will
gauge
allow,
anymore.
Execution of enchanted sword play actions without cost, so that it would prevent that sort of wasted resources.
あとはもう一個出していいです。こちらは範囲魔法剣コンボなんですけど、こちらも単体コンボと同じく
Wow, they made the AoE use the same mana as the single target. Who would have guessed that was a good idea?
悪かったので、調整しております。
My god.
And then the second point reads,
What does it use now?
AOE
40 or something?
Enchanted swordplay combo beginning with enchanted moulinet will now consume a total of 550.
They're bitching about it being removed? Why would they complain about that? But also, like,
the
two
fact
other
that
classes
the
have this
single target
change?
and,
Are the
AOE
Reapers
was
complaining?
kind of,
Because that's
not
free
aligned
triple for them.
was
That's free
kind
triple
of-
for Red Mage too. It means you can
it
do your
felt weird,
triple
so we made the adjustments there.
fucking
そうなんですよ
melee combo,
3回使うと合計消費量が60ですげえ気持ち悪い。
which is a huge
こ
boon.
こはちょっとそれ
That's big
し
burst.
ました。
For some reason, yeah, it was 50 mana total, which kind of didn't match the 60. So
あとは
It was 60
ま
before?
あ純粋進化なんですけど、まあエンボルデン実行した後に攻撃アクションが1個使える追加で使えるようになっ
That's
た。
not what you type. You're not inferring it.
も行われてたりはします。
What do you mean?
and then
You're telling me you're not
minor changes
inferring.
include whenever embolden is executed, there will be an additional action
Again
an
with
attack
that.
ability.
Why? That's weird. That's weird.
さあでは既存
Your party buffs
変革
combo
を
into an
させた
attack.
以
It's
上な
like
ので
it's like I mean
ギフトマンサーの紹介に
most of your skills get used in party buff, so I guess
よろしいでしょう
why
か。
not combo off of it? But it
So,
seems
I think
odd.
we covered the existing magical ranged DPS. So
This art is
I will
really
show
cute.
off Pictomancer.
はい、お願いします。Yes, please.
まず特徴からです。
Every time they've shown it.
So some characteristics of the Pictomancer.
まあ絵を描くんですけど、
And there are multiple
絵には
motifs
ま
to
あ
execute
種類が
high
ござい
powered
まして
attacks.
そ
I
の種
see.
類によって
はい
効果がちょっと異なるっていうこと。まあまずは絵を描いてアビリティでそれを具現化して具現化した後
I want to see the actual
強力
in-game
な
explanation of this
引
mostly.
き出して発動する
See what they
イ
say
メージで見てく
and
だ
then
さい。
skim forward a bit.
So of course, there's going to be drawings. We call them different motifs that the Pictomancer will draw, I guess.
I'm still going to call these palettes unless there's a different palette skill.
Abilities that can be executed with
by the way.
different effects, of course. And then you render them in order to sort of attack your enemies, and then you kind of collect, or not collect, but you do multiple of those in order to execute an even more powerful spell.
I'll probably call it artist. Yeah.
あとは、
I think everyone probably will, or just pick.
パーティーや自身に対するバフっていうのもありますよと。
Wow, it has buffs? Holy
Of course,
shit.
The Pictomancer is also capable of granting buffs to the party and themselves.
No way.
まあ火力が出ないピクトマンサーはもしかしたら 絵
How
の下手な
unique.
吉田って呼ばれる可能性はあるかもね。
Sorry, I'm being rude.
So Pictomancers that may not have a very high damage output might be like Yoshida, who can't draw very well.
Wow.
さあではまあこの説明だけだとやっぱり分かりづらいと思うので、ちょっと順番に説明していこうかなと実機で思います。
I mean, almost every class in the
So I
game
think,
buffs.
words might not be able to
So we'll have to
describe
see what their
what
damage
the
actually turns
Pictomancer
out to
can do.
be
So
and how
let's
much
look
those
at it
buffs
in
mean.
game.
大丈夫そうかい、
はい、大丈夫です。
あなたが急にねキーをガチャガチャガチャって叩き始めるとね
大変失礼しました
何かあったかってちょっとリビュー
Patate.
Just double checking if Foxclon didn't write any notes again.
さあさあ
I wonder if their stream quality is always so shit because they're dual streaming to Twitch.
アーティファクト、直線予想日になってます、
うん。
So this is, of course, the AF gear for the
可愛いですね。
Pictomancer.
Yeah, it's so cute.
まあ
Like, surely Square Enix has the bandwidth to get a better quality out.
So as you can see in the hotbars, these are the different actions that are available for the Pictomancer.
この武器専用武器左手に持ってる
Again, not too much on the hotbar, so.
武器ごとにかなり凝ったものが用意されていたりします。
Of course, in the left hand is the paint palette, and depending on the weapon or the brush set, the design of the palette is also different, and our team is very particular about the designs of these per the different sets. So
まずちょっとこの HUD を見ていただきたい。
Artists being particular, never heard that before, stares
take a
at
look
Palm.
at the job HUD here.
まあ絵を描くっていう要素があるんですが、絵に対してはタイプが3種類あります。
So the motifs that you first draw or sketch, there are 3 different kinds.
で、具体的には生物の絵、それから武器の絵、そ
Three.
して風景の絵っていう3つがあります。
I always found it funny how he
So
counts with
these
his
3 different
fingers.
motifs
'cause it's
involve
backwards.
A creature one, a weapon one, as well as a landscape one.
で HUD はこの左から
Kitten, what the
こ
fuck?
のカンバスが、ここが
Are you okay?
生物の絵で真ん中が武器の絵、そして一番右が
I'm telling you, you need
風
a
景の絵
bubble.
っていうふうに覚えてください。
And you have 3 pieces, 3 canvases in your job HUD. From the left, that's where your creature motif goes. Second, or the middle one, will be the weapon. And then the landscape will be to the far right.
She fell last night, too.
ああもう一回言ってくれっていう早くもリクエストがありましたので、実際に絵を
So you
描きながらにしま
combine
しょう。
these 3 to get a special
Let's
effect?
actually try doing some of these drawings or motifs.
Like certain groupings of these 3, I
戦闘中絵を描くっていう行為
guess?
は詠唱を伴う、アクションになりますが、非戦闘中とかコンテンツに入った直後っていうのは、詠唱なしで絵を描けるようになります。
So during combat, in order to draw or create a motif,
Caster with
there will
100k
be,
HP and
cast
base level
during
100
battle,
armor, by the way.
But when you're
Just wanted
outside
to
of
point that out.
combat, there is no requirement for casting
Hi, feet.
time.
このホットバーの C8、C9、C0 っていうところが3種の絵を描くコマンドだと思ってください。まあモーグリのこのボンボンが書いてあるやつが生物の絵を描く、ハンマーが書いてあるやつが
ハンバーガー
武器の絵を描く、でこの風景のアイコンが風景を描きます。この3つだと思ってください。
So you see in the hotbar, Control 8, Control 9, and Control 0
That is a pom.
has pom-pom, weapon, and
Pom-pom.
landscape, respectively. So pom-pom does the creature, the hammer, of course, creates the weapon, and then landscape is, well, landscape.
描きますね。
Okay, so we're going to start to...
これ今
ポンポン
詠唱がないので一瞬で書きましたけど、
Kitten needs a caretaker. Just
描かれ
like,
たの分かりますね。
or a walker.
Of course, we're
Just
not
so she
engaged in
doesn't
combat
fall
right now,
down.
so you didn't see cast time, and it was instant. But as you can see on the far left, we see the creature motif.
で続いては武器の絵を描きます。
Next, we will do a weapon motif.
So you can do these on the schmoove, which is nice.
で最後風景の絵を描きます。
Next is a landscape.
Does trigger the GCD, but no
まあ非
cast.
戦
So
闘状態なので、今のように走りながらでも別に描いたりとか。
does weed help? Because her migraines are like
書
HD.
かなきゃいけないみたいなわけじゃないので、そこは
Can't drink, can't breathe.
So of course, right now we're outside of combat, so it's instant, and then even if you're moving around, you can create your motifs.
まずこの3種類あるんだという
Wait, is it only instant
一旦
outside
覚
of
えておいてくだ
combat?
さい。
So as a first step, let's remember that there are these 3 different motifs.
先にお伝えしやすい絵とは切り離された魔法の説明をしたいと思います。
So before we go into how these motifs come into play, let us explain the different magic, let's see, ether hue elements of the Pictomancer in combat.
で魔法には置き換えが行われていてコンボのような概念があります。
So with the ether hue, the icon will be automatically replaced with the next step in the combo route. So it's kind of like a skill rotation combo.
Stop moving the camera, Yoshi.
キャストします。
Relax. Oh my god, Pictomancer has a combo?
You see that it's been automatically replaced.
A combo finisher crit for 38k, is that a lot?
まあ色に関わるこの魔法を、まあ、光に近いかな色を使っていくとここに1個ゲージが増えたように、白いインクが使えるようになりました。
So with the ether hue combo, once it's related to colors basically, or maybe like light might be a close concept too. But as you can see in that palette gauge, you can now see that you have white color available.
なんかちょいちょい吉田のマイクが遠いって言われるな。
You're lucky if it crits for 25, so
Just adjusting your shooting.
roughly bard damage, considering he has better gear.
なんでっていうんだろうね。操作しようとする
We
と
could-
ちょっ
we
と
could
机
assume.
からその遠ざかるんだよな。
マイクとセーター
Maybe a little higher than bard damage or something.
でそうなるとここにあるホワイトホーリーこいつを1個消化して、
Well, the 58's gonna be with a party. That's... He's not gonna have all the buffs to multiply it up that high,
Utilize that,
obviously.
One of the charges on that palette gauge to execute an instant.
That's also your apex arrow compared to the combo ender, so I guess that's a point to make. Now that I use my brain briefly.
早い魔法ですね。
So this is a
48k.
less powerful, but relatively quick to cast magic spell.
で
Everything's shiny on his hotbar.
ゲージがこうレインボーのやつ増えてってますよね。
So in addition to the palette gauge, you see like a rainbow kind of gauge also.
これを50消費するとこのパレットを変更するひっくり返すっていうアクションが使えるようになるのでこれで、色の属性というかを変更するみたいなイメージだと思ってください。
And by consuming some charge, 50 charge off of that rainbow gauge, you can activate Subtractive Palette, which basically kind of flips over the palette, kind of changes the element of your ether hue.
これを使うと
Bard is the closest you're gonna get to support, and even that,
さっき白系だったのを
I don't really. It's not
詠唱は長
much.
いけど強力な魔法を詠唱しながら
So it flipped the palette and changed the color, but what did that do? 72k.
こうブラックコメットみたいな、さっきのホワイトホーリーでしたよね。
So of course, earlier we utilized the white color to cast wholly in white. With the subtracted palette, and you change the elements of the ether hue, your different sort of ether hue spells will expand. Of course, cast times will become a little bit longer, but they are going to be a bit more powerful. So you saw like thunder in magenta, or like comet in black, and
I see.
things like that.
説明が分かりやすくす
So
る
it's
た
your
めには魔
burst,
法だけの説
obviously,
明を
because
して
it's
るんだけど
using 50
基本
gauge,
は
and
魔
that's how
法は
burst works.
これがベースだと思ってください。
It just changes your combo into a slower, heavier combo.
より強力な魔法を使っていく。で普段は詠唱が短くてちょっと威力が抑えられてるやつを中心に唱えながら溜まったら切り替える。これが魔法側だけの話です。はい。
So this is just the ether hue things. So as you can see, the basic movements is you try to accumulate your palette gauge and your rainbow gauge so that you can utilize the charges that are accumulated to unleash more powerful ether hue spells.
あとはちょっと絵の効果の説明に行く前に、まあ他のサブ系のアクションだけ説明しちゃいますけど。
This makes slightly more sense at a glance than Viper does. Viper at a glance was a bit confusing.
I also wanted to go over some of the sub actions.
まあ向いている方向へ。
Mostly because I just don't know what any of the buttons did, besides swing weapon.
So there is an action that will allow for you to move quickly towards the direction you're facing.
Dancer dash, but without the stacks and a really long
一
cooldown.
瞬だけちょっと足が速くなる効果が
Also a buff.
くっつきます。
And then you see an enhancement. For a short period of time, your movement speed will increase.
意外と長距離移動します
I
ね。
can't wait to dash near the edge and then accidentally sprint off because it
ステー
makes
ジ
you
の減り
sprint.
にはご注意ください。
So you can travel a pretty good distance with this action. So be careful when you get to the edge so that you don't fall off of the
Now,
platform.
speaking of,
ではあとは範囲攻撃だったりっていうところがもう当然標準装備されているので、ここから絵を使ったアクションの説明に入ろうと思います。
we'll have to see. I have my doubts because a lot of their limitations are server related.
AoE attacks, so we're going to skip detailed explanation on that. So we're going to go into the motif and pictomancy.
これね、横に並んでるから
Especially with positional latency, which I doubt they've actually fully fixed.
あるのかもしれないんですけど、なんとなく今までのジョブのイメージ、他のジョブのイメージからすると。
As much as I would like them to.
So with these actions, because it looks like it's side by side, it might make you think that, well, it's something that you utilize with the 3 in a row.
この3つの絵はそれぞれ独立したカテゴリ
We
ーの
won't get any
絵なので、
like full combat teaser. Oh wait, no, yeah, we will. We'll get a dungeon teaser with Mediator. Never mind.
That said, although they are next to each other, they are individual.
I mean, it's just a dungeon, but, you know,
motifs that
we
you
could at
can
least see it.
utilize, so they're not necessarily connected to each other.
まず生物の絵、この一番左だけを見てってください。ここから説明を始めます。
Okay, so we'll start with the creature motif on the left.
The pum pum.
今先ほど、
Normally the second one.
絵を
Wasn't it
描きましたの
the
で
Tower of Zot?
この
last time?
絵をまず具現化するっていうアクション
I
が
don't
これ
remember
です。
before then.
イマジンポンポン。
So let's start with the creature motif. You have created the motif, but then you need to render it in order to actually execute this as an attack.
じゃあイマジンポンポン
We've just sketched the pom pom. Now we have to render the pom
使
pom.
うとどうなるかちょっとお見せしますね。いいですか、アニさん。
あ、
あ、イマジン
名前を
ポンポンを調べてる。
Pom pom.
イマジンポンポンじゃないの？
Pom pom.
コメントでお前は何を言っているんだ。
はい。 The Japanese literally sounds like imagine a pom pom, but the English, I believe, is living muse.
全然違った。
Pom Pom is a living muse.
具現化しますね。
So we're going to render this as an attack.
文字通りポンポンがむしり取られて上から落ちていくんですね。
We see a whole bunch of
Okay, so the
pom-poms, probably torn off of some poor Moogle's head,
whoa.
pouring down onto your enemies.
落ちてきましたよね。
落ちてましたね。
これによって、
So your creature gets
さっきの
3 stacks, your weapon gets 2 stacks, and
見てほしいんですけど
your landscape gets 1 stack.
絵が
It
具
would
現化さ
appear.
れたので真っ白になりましたね。
So of course, if you look at the canvas, the white square, because we have rendered the motif
And there's a
into
pom
an
pom
attack,
above it now.
canvas is now
Yeah.
blank.
で、この生物の絵のまあ白紙に戻ったので、
So it is sort of like ninjutsu, where you
さっきも
combine 3 to get a
次は
finisher.
羽の
It
絵が
appears.
描けるようになります。
So canvas is blank, but you can still continue to draw.
Presumably
a
it matters
creature
which 3.
motif. This time,
Or maybe
it
the
will
order,
be,
I'm not
the
sure.
wing motif will become available.
描きますね。
Is it a static order?
We shall create the motif.
Is a cast in combat lame?
で、キャンパスに描かれます。
And as you can see, it is now on our canvas.
で、これによって今度はここの
Part of me wants the order to be random, but this does appear that it's a static order. So your rotation is fixed.
So with this, now we can render the wings as an attack.
で、同じようにさっきポンポンを具現化したので羽を具現化します。
So these are wings, and so we're going to render the wing.
50k!
これで、ポンポンと羽
Pom
を
Pom.
描
Pom
いた
Pom can fly
そ
now.
れによって
We've created the full Pomander. And she is singing.
So with the palm and the wings, you see a little Moogle up there. You ring.
Yeah, someone's appealing.
そうそれによってモーグリを召喚
Does
す
it
る
have a
って
dot?
いうアクション
I
が
think they're trying to
モー
move
グリの絵が
fully
完
away
成
from
した
that, so I doubt it, because now even Monk doesn't have a dot.
モーグリが召喚できる
With that, we can now render.
I think that leaves
Moogle.
Bard
で呼びますねモーグリ
and
Okay, so we're gonna
Gunbreaker with a
call
dot.
that
Is that
one
it?
Moogle.
Oh, that's Samurai. Bard, Samurai, Gunbreaker.
ちゃんとモーグリストームというレーザーをぶっ放してくれる
And so
And the
with
healers.
Moogle showing up, it's going to
Is Dragoon's
increase
skill
its,
still a dot? I know it still
oh,
exists.
Mog of all ages.
Did they confirm it was a dot? Could we tell it was a dot? I don't know.
さらに今度は爪の絵が描けるので爪の絵を描きます
Cat to
So we
claw.
will draw a
So yeah, it is a set order because it's doing the same thing
で
the
爪を具現
trailer
化し
did.
ます
And then we're going to render this claw as an attack.
is.
ほう
There might be more dots than I recall.
今度は牙が描けるようになったので牙の絵を描きます
So now,
I wish they just straight up had a dot
fangs,
class.
become available, so we will depict that as our motif.
そしてさらに牙を具現化します
But they can't because their servers don't know how to handle dots because for some reason they render the dots on the
こ
enemy
れによっ
instead
て
of
全ての
anywhere
要素が
else.
揃ったのでマディーンが
So now the canvas goes blank, and then there were symbols above the canvas, but we were able to fill
is
the
that
slots
thing?
there. So we have yet another creature that was summoned, the Medine.
で
Summoned from the deep.
一番強い
What is that?
牙で
What abomination creature
We
did they
can
paint?
render it as an attack for a very powerful strike.
これがですね、この盾一番左の生物の絵を描くっていうところの紹介です
It's an imp? It was an imp with like
So that was, in a nutshell, how the creature
weird mixed body parts.
化します化しますが
So now it's an attack.
God damn it.
化します
We have yet another creature that was summoned, the Medine.
で具現化すると
Look at it. It's got Moogle arms. It's got imp wings. It looks like a piece of broccoli. or something. Oh,
あーなるほど。
And then we can render it as an attack for a very powerful strike.
これがですね、
new enemy confirmed.
一番左の生物の絵を描くっていうところの紹介でした。
So that was, in a nutshell, how the creature motifs kind of go through its cycle.
Yeah, but what if you combine a creature with a weapon?
訂正させてください。
はい
さっきのイマジンポンポンの、ターミノロジーが徳武が間違えてました。So I'm sorry, I made a mistake when I was mentioning the Imagine Pom Pom move. It is not Living Muse, it was Palm Muse.
I'm sorry, your palm muse, not living muse. This is very important to correct.
いやでまあ絵を描く自体にも、まあ、間違ったあ迅速そっち作って
No.
The hell did you just cast for 4200? What is that?
Well, did he?
次この武器の絵
Okay, so now going on to the weapon motif.
He
ここです
buffed
ね
himself for no
ウェ
reason.
ポンしましたんでハンマーが使えるようになってます
So now we can use the hammer.
ハンマーが具現化します
Hamburger.
Going to render that as an attack.
でこれは具現化するとこっちに3段コンボとして使えるようになるのでこれね結構長い間使えるんで
I hope that's one of those buttons that you can have combo because you can't render a new weapon while you have that.
So with the weapon motif,
That would be silly not to just have that overwrite the other button.
With a very short, if not instant cast, your hammer combo, almost like a triple cast.
Is it always a hammer?
書いておいて、
No.
そろそろ
It's different.
ボスが激しい攻撃してくる
Well, it's
ぞって
different
な
every
ったら
time, actually. That's just a hammer that's on fire.
そうそのアクションにこう敵のアクションに対応しながらこれで火力切らさないみたいなこともできますよと。
So a way to use
I
the
can't-
weapon motif
I
would be
can't
to
tell
have
if
it
the
on standby,
damage is
like,
high.
depicted in your canvas, and then once you're ready to go in and deal continuous damage, you can unleash your hammer combo so that you're continuously outputting
Oh,
damage.
now that he's used the hammer, that icon does
最後
look
風景
the
の
same.
絵はリキャストタイムがかなり
It
長い
was a sword earlier. I guess that's just the you can't cast it thing.
でもあるからです。
So next is the landscape motif. This one has a longer casting time.
This is probably what
because
made the
it is
grass.
also the depiction for your party buffs.
Yeah.
実行します。
Okay, executing.
That's a lot of buffs you just got.
はい、このまあ別にもっと
It's
広い範囲
stationary, so that's going to have people walk out of it fucking constantly.
攻撃にも転じられる。
It's also not very
Of
big.
course, not only is it a buff, but you can also utilize
That's
it
like-
for attacks. The range is going to be wider because it's going to be a party buff.
で、
Oh, okay. It's like that's real
こちらは
small.
ですね、展開中はですね、さっきの説明した最初の魔法、まあ、無詠唱で使えたり、5キャストまで
But if they're making it
無
bigger,
詠唱で
that's
使え
fine.
たりするので、ここと組み合わせてバーストを無詠唱でする
I think it'll just be like the healer sizes where they're like fucking 30 yalms or
バーストを
something.
組んでいくことになります。
There's infinite touchgrass macros.
The,
Everyone's gonna have
landscape
it.
motif and the buff that you can apply to the party will allow for your ether hue, the magics that we explained earlier with the different colors in the palette, to be cast without the longer cast time. So if you want to say going into a battle and starting off with like a damage burst in the beginning of a battle, that might be a way to place your buff there and start off your battle with
You mean like how every fight's gonna happen?
optimal damage output.
まあ、今までの本当キャスターどのタイプとも似てないので、まあ、最初ちょっと慣れるまでかもしれないけどちょっとだけ、まあ
Actually, you might want to activate the weapon
手に馴染んでるわけじゃないんでミスったら申し訳ないけど
and then activate the lands. Well, you have to stall the landscape a couple GCDs
Rather different
anyway.
from the
So
other
combo
magic
weapon
used
landscape,
to
maybe?
be, DPS. So
And then
apologies,
cast
it's,
the weapon.
Still getting used to how it moves around. But let me show you some examples of how a skill rotation might look like.
Okay. It's long cast. Rainbow.
あれこの後どうすんだっけ
He messed it up
Oh, already
immediately.
そうだ
forgot.
ピクトウィングだった
Yeah, he did pretty much what I was thinking. Activate weapon, activate landscape, cast weapon. Oh, he's not actually casting weapon, he's doing other stuff. He still hasn't cast the weapon. There he goes.
賑やかですね。Looks very
$68k. That damage, to me, as a usual tank player who doesn't pay attention to damage otherwise,
意外と一
that
個
damage
説明
seems
すると
good.
まあエーション長いかもなって思うかもしれないけど、やること間に結構挟んでいけるので慣れてくるとすごくこういろんなことをやりながら楽しめるジョブになってるのでぜひぜひ触ってみていただければと思います。
Like, obviously, it's gonna
So at
it's gonna
first
be
glance,
pretty
it might look
spiky
like there's a lot
because
of cast time involved, but you are kind of
repainting
weaving in different
doesn't do
movements,
damage.
As you are doing things. So once you get used to it, I think it might be a fun way to kind of maneuver around what you need to do next.
Like, once you use the weapon, you have to repaint the weapon, and that cast doesn't do any damage, so...
もうね
There's gonna be a period, there's 3 casts,
日本の
basically.
方からは見えて
Or
いる
more than 3 casts where you're doing nothing.
It is getting very late at night in Japan now.
はい
Which is a pretty long period of no damage for this
大
game.
丈夫よねどっちもまあいつもそうなんですけどちゃんと面白くなるように作ってるんですけど
It seems interesting, at
面
least.
白いんで
Having seen him do a rotation, I didn't know what the fuck he was doing, but the general premise, at the very least, makes more immediate sense to me.
So yeah, both jobs. Of course, with any job we introduce into an expansion, we try to make it as interesting as we can. But I think both of these are pretty fun. So I'm hoping that perhaps. Okay, so
ではい
Healer.
ではい
長くなってまいりました。
Oh,
雰囲気的に
長くなって
what? Oh, they're taking another break, aren't they? Yeah. Well. Yeah, we need to, like, in order to understand it, I need to see
to 40 seconds.
how it works.
ます
Swift cast reduction.
So, the
blah, blah.
update that applies to all healer jobs is just one. Swift cast, recast will be reduced to 40 seconds in the 90s level range. This is similar to what we saw in the ranged magical DPS.
はいではヒーラー個別のジョブそれぞれ、お話ししていこうと思います
So we're going to jump into individual jobs within the role.
まず、白魔導士からです
Oh,
Okay, first is the
Yon.
white mage.
こちらも動画ですでに出てましたが前方に素早
Gap
く
close.
移動する移動アクションが今回追加されております
So
Yeah,
as
that
you can
Astro
see
art
in
was what I was
the
looking at
jump
earlier.
action video, we
Is
are going
good.
to be adding a new action, allowing the caster to quickly move forward.
他に
You
も
did
で
it?
す
What
ね
did you do, Feet?
次どうぞ
I'm proud of you, but what did you do?
ここに3回発動できる範囲攻撃アクションなんかも
Once
追加
again,
されていますまあもちろん、
a skill
レベルアップに
after your
伴って
buff.
回復アクションっていうのももちろん増えておりますがこういった、攻撃要素っていうのも増えてますよと
And then the second point, with presence of mind, after executing that, there will be an AoE attack action that can be executed up to 3 times. So in addition to the different healing actions that will be added as the level cap is raised, there will be some action items that involve attacking also.
Oh,
あ
you
と
just
は
left
他
the
にはですね
instance.
テトラグラマトンの最大
You were
殺
supposed to
数
use
が
presence of
増
mind
える
anyway,
特
kid.
性が
Not
追
that
加さ
I
れ
ever
たりと
remembered,
か
but
もちろんこれ以外にも追加要素っていうのはありますけど割とまっすぐアップデートされているという感じになってます
And then some of the minor updates, there will be a trait that will be added that will allow for an increased stack numbers for Tetragrammaton. Of course, there are other updates there, but I think
Even
those
more
are the
OG
major
CD
ones to
heals.
note.
さあではあなたのメインジ
I,
ョブ
I've
大丈夫ですか
mentioned this before, but I really wish they would move away from
Well,
OG
now
CD
this is your
healing.
main. Is everything
But
looking good?
Whatever.
はいでは次学者に参りましょう
Next is our scholar.
動画でもザーザーしておりましたが自身の姿を変えて
Seraphism.
回復効果を強化するアクションセラフィズムを追加しております
Seraphism.
So I did see some
Grow
people buzzing
wings,
about
become
this
fairy.
while we were playing
It's
back
not
the
actually a
video,
fairy.
but,
It's like a-
there's going to be a new action that will change the caster's
I don't know what kind of wings those are.
called seraphism.
It's weird that Scholar is the one that doesn't get fairy wings, but
ジョブア
whatever.
クション動画公開しておりますので動画ご覧になってない方は
I think it would have been
その
known.
姿
Here we
動画
are.
の方でも確認できますので確認してみてください
So yeah, you will be able to see this in the job action trailer that we have pushed live. So you can check it out there.
そして他にはですね
No, they're not.
連関
I don't think they're angel wings. They're like
アクションを追加したりもして
they're
お
the
ります
least fantasy looking
And then the
wings.
second point reads a new
In the
AoE
game.
attack that can be executed after chain stratagem.
Just
will be
every buff
added.
has an
まあ
ability
こ
after
の
it, I
攻
guess.
撃は継続ダメージいわゆるドットをね付与したりもします
Excuse
And
me.
with this AoE attack after chain stratagem is basically a dot where it will do damage over time.
2
あ
dots.
とは他にもですね、秘策のリキャストタイムを短縮する
Your scholar
特
gets
性
two
を、
dots?
獲得したりというふうに、まあここに書かれているだけではなくて、
How will they
実際
manage
そういう
such
のを書いていただいて
complexity?
ます
And then another update that we would be making is the scholar will obtain a trait that will allow for a reduced recast time for recitation and other various updates with the raised level cap.
My dots.
大丈夫ですかね
Moving
はい
along.
The olden days when we had more
さて
dots
続いては
and Scholar used Blizzard 2 because it didn't have an
こちらは結構
AoE.
大きく手が入っております
So Astrologian is next, and this one has had some.
If you missed that era,
changes
that's what they
that were
did. They cross-classed Blizzard 2 for
ま
AoE.
ず一つ目、カードシステムからランダム性をなくしてですね攻撃バフ、防御バフ、回復の効果を持つカードを同時に引くというもの
Oh,
に
I
変更してます
see. Curative
So the first point
effects.
reads, the card system will no longer
Curative.
be random and will instead simultaneously draw cards with offensive, defensive, and curative effects.
What do you mean?
まあクラウンロード
Also, the
と
reintroduction
ク
of
ラウンレディを
defensive as well. What
全部で
do you
カード
mean by
8
this?
種
Tell me
類ある
more.
んですが今回の回収ではこれらを4種類ずつ2つのグループに分けて60秒ごとに1グループずつ順番かつ4枚のカードをまとめ
It's
て
probably
ドロー
just put
できる
card on DPS, put card on tank, put card on healer. But
So right now,
it's-
we
at least it's more
have,
interesting than
8
everything's damage.
Total different types of
8.
cards, including Lord of Crowns and Lady of Crowns.
6.
And so with this update,
So
we
2
are
per
going
type.
to divide these cards into 2 different groups with 4 cards each. And so every
Wait,
60
what?
seconds, you will be able to pull one pull from one group in order. One
What?
4 cards. Sorry, we can. Sorry. We can do one group at a time. So 4 cards at the same time.
でただし
So 2 groups of 4 cards. So just 2 of each type plus the Lord and Lady.
になってたんですがその効果は
So two
一部のカードには
offense, two
残しま
defense,
した
two
が
curative,
それ以
and you
外を
pull
防御とか回復
one
効果っていう
of each of those effects, is what she said,
60
basically.
秒の間に、まあ、セットで引いたカードのうち4種類のカードを状況に合わせて、選
And
択
then
して
either
使う
Lord or
と
Lady.
いう形になってます。
But that said, so all of the additional effects of these cards was an increased damage dealt enhancement or buff. But that is going to be now limited to certain cards
Not
and then
everything's
everything
damaged.
else in that set of 4 cards will either be offensive or curative. So every 60 seconds, you'll be able to draw a set of 4 cards, and then with those 4 cards, you'll pick out like which ones to use depending on your situation.
で、まあカードに個別の効果を持たせるようにしたので、
I would like to know
まあシンボル
what these cards are.
削除させていただいて
Astrodyne's gone, thank fuck.
So because each individual
Like, what do they
cards
mean
now
defensive
have
and
their
curative,
own
right?
effect, we are going to do away or discontinue the astro signs.
This was kind of shit anyway. I never really liked that part of Astra,
まあ攻撃
personally.
攻撃というかダメージ上昇を
It just felt weird.
防御とか回復効果っていうカードをパックにして4枚で、60秒に1回引けるのでシチュエーションに応じてそのカード
You were already pulling cards to buff the party, and then you
っていう
just
感じになります。
sometimes your Astrodyne just
Just
sucked,
to recap, so you'll draw
and it
a set
only
of 4
affected you,
cards,
so
and
it was real
included
weird.
in that 4 cards would be something like increased damage, and then defensive, and then curative effect. And within the next
didn't
60
explain it.
seconds, before you draw another set of cards, you will utilize those 4 cards according to where they would be best utilized.
あとは他にもですね、ディグニティの最大スタック数が増える特性を追加したりも
Yeah, I don't like the
しています
homogenization, but
effect is
the card change
you
is
will
cool.
obtain a
I
trait
like these
that will
cards.
increase the stack number for essential dignity.
Like the current card system for Astra sucks. The original card system for Astra had neat ideas, but was not balanced very well.
ちゃんとやりたいと。
This is moved slightly back towards the original card idea.
言われたランダム性いらんのだけどっていうところ
With
は
a slightly, it's a more usable system.
So as you can see,
I
there
still
were
don't
some
like the
major
fact that it's
changes
a
with the Astro
60-second
Logan,
cooldown, so it's just a
but we really
2-minute
wanted to
buff,
focus in
basically.
on
But
the
you know,
aspect of utilizing the cards in their appropriate situations, and there were feedback about how we can do away with the randomness of the cards that are being drawn. So we have removed that element of it.
the fact that it's not random is a bit eh.
ひとまず触ってみるよという
Because that was kind of
絵があるので
like the skill ceiling on Astro was pretty high because of appropriate card
And
usage
yeah,
and stuff like that.
As people are already commenting that they're willing to try it out, I think it's best to kind of see for yourself to
But you could
get,
also end up in
some of the
situations where
changes that
all
we
of your
have
card
made.
draws sucked.
そうね、ランダム性先生なんだから
You know,
欲しいっていう
trade-offs.
方の声もまあもちろんわかるし、僕らも
Because every card just did damage. It didn't matter. Sometimes you just drew cards that did less damage than other cards.
もう結局最初のがいいっていうお声があるのもまあよくわかってるんですけど、悩ましい。
Now at least there's some... I don't know what the defensive and curative part
Definitely
is, but there's
difficult,
some
the element of randomness, like,
thought into
we do
where to
see people
use those
saying that,
specific kind
no,
of
we would rather
cards.
have,
I miss
cards be
expanded, too.
random, because it's very unique to the Astro
Royal
Legion.
Road and
But also, we do have a large amount of people objecting that
whatever
sort
the
of
fuck the other thing was
randomness
called.
as well. So, and some people also comment about how
Arrow in the teeth.
maybe it's best that we revert it back to how we had it in the beginning. So
No.
it's very difficult, and so we're
As
trying
much
to
as I
figure this
liked
out
the
on our
idea
end
of
as
the
well.
different cards in the beginning, it was just draw
ただ今回
balance.
はその4種引いたカードの中から
Balance
状況に応じてそのカードを
and,
使い分けてい
the one-
くっていう部分に関しては一段しっかり遊び
There was
としては
another
入れて
card
いる
that was
ので
good.
まあぜひそこを
It was the
また触って
GCD
フィードバック
speed.
いただければなと思います。よろしくお願いします。
Which would be Arrow.
But that
Spear?
said,
Was it Spear?
with this update, we
I don't remember.
are
There were
kind
two
of,
useful
again,
cards, but it was mostly
focusing
balance.
in on utilizing the 4 cards that you draw, depending on the situation most appropriate, and so that's the element.
then there was an
of
MP
the
card
sort of
that
play
sometimes
we
you
put
used.
in there. So I'm hoping that people will try it out, and if there is any sort of feedback, it would be great if you can kind of take to our
I could see
forums
this
to,
system being good.
Comment on your feedback.
There's still a layer of skill into when to use defensive and curative. Offense, you're just going to use when you draw it. I don't see a use case other than that. Because it's a 60 seconds, so it lines up with burst. But the defensive and the curative,
エウクラシアの強
there
化
could
対象に
be
ディスクラシア2を追加して
optimizations per fight on when to use those for like tank busters and stuff.
付与する、
Perhaps.
こちら新しいねエウクラシアディスクラシアに変化するようになってます。
AoE dwop.
So first point reads, Eucratia will now enhance Discratia 2 into Eucratia and Discratia, an AoE attack which deals damage
Tree-
over time to enemies within
Tree
realm.
was
そうね、確かに
That was the
賢者の
defense up
アクション名
one, wasn't
は
it?
そもそも吉田何言ってる
Or
か
what
わからない
was the
よ
tank
っ
one?
てなってしまう代表で
That
は
never got really used.
It feels like a foreign language.
Thought
we're
that was
speaking here. And I know we're
Eucrasia
seeing
will now enhance
comments that it's
Discrasia
very hard to
2 into
understand.
Eucrasian Discrasia.
あとはですね
Who came up with these names?
自身が
Do these mean
魔法を使用するた
anything,
び
by the way?
周囲の味方を回復するというパーティーバフなども追加されております。
And then the second point reads, a new party buff which heals nearby party members whenever the caster casts a
That
spell will be
seems
added.
strong?
まあ今までドットダメージっていう意味だとエウクラシアの質があったんですけど、
Why
まあ、範囲
though?
版が追加されたと思っていただければ最初からそう言えってもう言われそうだけど
It's like
So
White Mage's
it's worded in
Flower,
the way
except it's
that
on
it's written in
cast
the
instead of on
PowerPoint,
hit,
but
which
basically,
makes it much better.
With the existing actions, we do have the Eucratia Dosis as our
It
sort of
seems
single
very
target
potent.
dot. So now we're adding an AoE version of it.
まあ
Shield
2
healers.
つ目に今ご紹介したそのパーティーバフは
That's all we need. Sage and Scholar meta rise
パ
up.
ルディアと違って常時ではなく一定効果に効果が発動するっていう感じになってます。
And then, in terms of the party
Again.
buff mentioned in the second bullet point, this is like a ranged version of Cardion, but that said, it's not on constantly, and will only be available for a certain period of time.
はい、まあ他にも
Sage has too much, I feel like.
ソーテリアンのリキャストを短縮する
Like it's supposed to be a shield healer, but it has multiple skills that give regen.
And then,
It has
there
incredible
is,
burst healing, and now
a
it just
trait
has
that you'll
this.
acquire, that will shorten the time.
It does
to
everything.
recast Soteria, that will enhance the
Like Scholar at
healing
least has
effects of
issues
cardio.
raw healing. It has very little raw healing output.
大丈夫そうです。
Sage doesn't. Sage dumps so
はい
much
ありが
healing.
とうございますさあというわけ
It's
で
weird.
長時間にわたってお伝えしてまいりましたが、ジョブの
I mean, White Mage still has more, but White Mage has too much raw healing, to be honest. There's very little cases where you need that much healing.
Okay, so yeah, it was quite an extensive amount of time that we utilized, but we went through the different jobs that are available, also introducing the two new jobs.
I don't know what Astra has because they
that
keep
will
changing it, so
end
fucking
their
who knows.
different PvE actions.
Yeah, White Mage doesn't have anything else. That's its flaw.
PVP もあるんですけど、
It does have the best
ア
mana,
ップデートのスケジュールを今日はお知らせしておこうと
for
思い
what
ます
that's worth.
So, of course, by us saying PvE, we will also touch upon PvP. We will be mentioning about the upcoming schedule for the PvP updates also. Of course, with the PvP, we
中などを行っていく予定です。
7.1.
まあここを改めあらかじめお知らせしておこうと思います。
be making. So these two characters, of course,
Koana.
we
Jar Jar.
had given an
Jar Jar
overview
Binks.
of how the Warrior of Light will be helping the race
How do you
to the
make
throne,
two
for
lizardmen
the
out of
next
one
king
lizardman?
or leader of Toral.
It's two
And
different.
So
two different
these two
lizard-
characters will not necessarily be moving around with the Warrior of Light, but they're rivals in that race to the throne.
Ah, yes, rivals. The two-headed gigantic lizard man and the cat boy with glasses. Rivals to the throne, a throne which is won via combat, as far as I'm aware. Rivals.
このバクジャジャの方はですね、 現在トラル大陸
It's a very strong
を
cat
治
boy.
めているグルージャジャと同じ頭が2つ相当の、マムージャ族になって
With the
ます。
tie. Don't forget the tie part.
So Bakul Jaja is just like the current ruler of
It's true, we got
Tural,
the silence in there.
Gulul
Should be a
Jaja,
rule
who
against that.
is a, of course, Kwano
I don't wanna-
team. Was,
I don't
very
need
brief,
this lore
but
info.
his
We'll get that when we
turn.
play.
We would run the event for maybe like a period of 3
Fall
months,
Guys is
and then
back.
kind of close it off and then come back again. So we will probably be doing this sort of on and off type of situation.
まあ今ね、黄金のレガシーに向けて
I don't know why it's not just permanent.
お休みしてた人たちも帰ってきてると思うので、まあぜひぜひね、その手前で参加していただけたらなと思います。
So some people may have taken a break before Dawn Trails. So
Like some of the events should just be
before the
like
launch of
Monster Hunter
expansions
one, where
would
they're
be
just
a
permanent.
good opportunity
Like you
to
put
take
all this
part.
effort into this much custom
はい、
stuff.
詳しくはこの後トピックスなども掲載されていきますので、そちらも合わせてご覧ください。So for more details, we will make a topics announcement sometime later. So please check it out. はい、ということで最初はフォールガイズ。
Oh yeah, the Mountain Dew
はい、
collab.
次は
Those
です
of
ね
you
ア
drink
メリカ
sodas,
限
you
定なんです
weirdos.
が、ファイナルファンタジー14とマウンテン
So you can get your in-game sparkling citrus refreshment
announcement is that this is actually the US only
to go with your pizza emote.
of Final Fantasy 14 and Mountain Dew. はい。ということで、
I do like the name of the Mountain Zoo though. Whoever came up with that is a genius. I can't drink soda, it hurts. I don't like it.
Keep you refreshed and energized this summer as you head west toward Tural. ということで、トラルに行くにはね、ちょっとエネルギッシュにならなきゃいけないじゃん。アイテム、マウンテン
Zoo.
Mountain Zoo. Skip. Oh my god, product advertising.
Web page and then enter the code to gather your points. はい。ということで、詳細はまた
Look at Feep over here, buying into this consumerism.
で今予約受付中ですので、ぜひとも予約お願いいたします。So next one is the new merchandise items.
It's just all the stuff
で
I
今
could read.
回は
Wow, Immerse Game Pack
いろいろ良くなったということなんですけど
version 2.2.
なんと太っ腹なことにですね、
うん
このバージョン 2.2 になったことを記念しまして、
うん
もう一度
I tried this
うんうん。
試した動画に
a while ago. I don't
全ての
remember
皆さん
when
にもう一
exactly.
回30日のフリー
It's
トライ
not
アル
very good.
差し上げますよということなので、ぜひとも
What is this? It's like
フ
a.
リートライアルと思ってた方もですね、この機会に改めて試
It's called immersive audio, but it's like surround, sort of like a fake surround, if we want to call it that.
The Immerse team gave everyone to another shot of the 30-day free trial. So if you have already
The way it's
spent
supposed to
your
work
points,
is
regardless-
on like the super high end of audio.
Try the new free trial again.
You need to
はい、という
know
ことでぜひともよろしくお願いします。
の耳を
the shape of the ear effectively.
ちょっと補足してあげてくださ。
はいい。で今回
So
です
the
ね
way it's supposed to work is that they get the shape of your ear and then they can sort of
ウェブページの
tune the
方が
audio
耳の撮影の方法が変わりまして、
so that it more accurately mimics appropriately
そうこうね
what it should sound like in your ear.
すごい頑張って写真じゃない
Is sort of what that's
新しいのが
doing.
画面に指示が出て、
ほ
顔を向いてくださいと。で、言われる通り顔をこうね、ウィーンって。
うほう。
I tried it a while ago. It didn't really do much of anything. And it's not free. So
So yeah, they updated how you take your photo of your ear. So beforehand, you have to take your ear's photo by yourself
See.
somehow. Yeah, but now it changes how it works, and then you can just go to visit their website and then just facing in camera, and then just follow
If you
the
have-
guidance, and then move your head, and then taking picture is completed automatically. So it's very simple. now.
if you have a
So that is
super
true.
high end audio setup, there might be some value to doing that.
はい、詳細はそちらのご覧の
I mean, if you're spending, $1,000 plus on an audio setup, you probably want to get the best audio you can, right?
はい。
But
さて、それでは続いて次の
for people who just have, like, headphones or an earbud, I don't know.
reminder of the
I don't see the value.
Primals.
It has a trial. Like if you want to just try it, it has trials.
Only available in Japan. 日本向けのお知らせですけれども、ザ・プライマルズの横浜アリーナ 2days のプレイヤー先行抽選の応募受付中でございますので、この機会に
Maybe it's better now. Well, not now, but when the expansion hits, because it said something about higher quality and whatnot. I still wouldn't pay for it. But details. It is better than the fake surround sound that you can enable in like Windows, like the spatial audio or whatever, because that just makes assumptions. Whereas the immerse thing is actually built into the game and has more info and all that. Hey, the KFC collab is back. Feet, did you get some KFC? No, wait, never mind, it's Japan only. Feet, did you import KFC from Japan? Where are we at? We're right there.
Media tour has just started, and Yoshida will be.
Japan does have
going
KFC.
overseas for that.
So the media tour ends on the 30th. If they are restricted from posting videos until then, which I don't know, then we'll have more detailed info for classes on the 30th or the 31st, which is where my big interest is. Someone will leak, probably, but like leaking the tooltips is one thing. You can do a lot of assuming, but I want like I need the video. I need the explanation of
going overseas, and then
stuff.
The media will post their articles beginning of June-ish, and then we're going.
And they're not going to leak a whole video. If they do leak a whole video, they're even dumber.
And then patch notes
than the tooltip leaks.
And then 48-hour maintenance, and wow, we're almost at launch.
Wow. When is the fucking WoW expansion? I still have to buy a bunch of. Which I should probably see if Mog Station hates my credit card now.
全世界のマーケ PR チームが一人でも多くの方に遊んでいただくために情報出し頑張りますし、コミュニティチームはね、皆さんの日々のね、楽しいゲームプレイを支えるために、
wait, no, that was revealed. When is it launch?
頑張っていきますんで、チームサポートも含めてやっていきますんで、よろしくお願いします。
So we have our development team, our operations and management team, our promotional teams, especially with the development team, they are in their final stretch. We are continuing to power through that. And then of course,
it doesn't
we
have a date
our,
still.
Marketing and PR teams in our different regions around the world who are helping out with trying to get as many people as possible to play the game.
Are you gonna do the Panda remix, Palm?
Our players, we've sort of are all hands on deck trying to support everybody. So
I think I'm gonna do it.
Continued support leading up to the launch is very much appreciated.
Oh,
What's that?
予約しないと
Time walking the Mists of Pandaria expansion, but with infinite power scaling and like 4 expansions worth of collectibles that you can gather.
And of course,
Glamours and mounts and
pre-order the
pets and
expansion, or else
lots
you
of
won't
stuff.
be able to start playing as of
It's a way to
access
level.
timing,
It goes
so
all the way to the
don't
expansion
sleep
launch.
on
It's a
it.
way to
If
level
you
alts and collect
if you
stuff.
haven't done so already, I would recommend you
And have a power
pre-order the
fantasy.
expansion now, not tomorrow. Now.
There's a
さあじゃあ
in the group DM. There's a thing showing all the collectibles from Wowhead. If you scroll up somewhere,
コメントがあったりですね。
if you want to see them.
もういい寝ろっていう人もいたりね。48時間耐久朗読会かなって言って寝ろって言ったり、その48時間朗読しようって言ったらどっちなんだ
I
よ
don't think I'm gonna sub for the whole, like all the way to the expansion, but I'm gonna probably sub, see what's going on, see how many collectibles I can get, kind of thing.
I'm studying, so I'm gonna join Square Enix one day, Yoshida. Just you wait. Or some of them are like, go to sleep, Yoshida, or 48
And then if
hours.
the infinite power
You
scaling
have to
fantasy
go,
of soloing
survive
raids
the
is
48
actually
hours
like
and
viable,
read your
that may
patch
interest
notes
me.
While things are on maintenance, you have to stay up. So I was like, which do you want?
まあまあ皆さん眠たいだろうし
Anyway, this is the end of the live letter, isn't it? Yeah, they're just bantering now.
まあ僕はね普段ね3時4時ぐらいなんで寝るのまだあれですけど もういい加減ね、明日も早いんで、皆さんに寝
Yeah,
ろって言って
we got like a month and a half. I mean, do a 1 month sub
ゆっくり
if you want to keep farming stuff in FF. Obviously, don't
黄金のレガシー楽しみに
because you're playing FF anyway.
ます。
But yeah,
But
I
like,
think,
you know, do a 1 month
staff
sub to
included,
pass time,
people
and
in
then do
Japan, I
Dawn
think that
Trail,
is
and then do
either
the
already
WoW
bedtime
expansion
or
whenever
past
that comes out
bedtime.
later.
Yoshida doesn't go to sleep until like 3 or 4 in the morning, but
Me too,
we
Yoshi.
do have another day, early day ahead of us. So yeah, let's get some rest.
He does exactly what I do.
Please look forward to
He says it's
7.0,
late, so we should stop, and then he doesn't sleep till 4 anyway.
はい。ということで、以上
This man is a
をもちまして
gamer.
第81回ファイナルファンタジー14プロデューサーレターライブを終了とさせていただきたいと。
What is he
やっ
doing?
ぱり4時間半とかかかっちゃうんだね。
ね、
ね
or 4.5 hours after.
Oh, he was counting the time.
予想はね、予想は3時間半だったです。We were
俺
expecting
も
three-
Anyway, that was the live letter. 3 hours of a man who doesn't do reacting very well. Reacting to a live letter. Did you enjoy my reactions? Make sure you hit that bell
減らしたんだけどね、喋る内容でもなんかこう
and subscribble.
短くさらっといくと俺たちは短いとかなるし
Gotta subscribble.
あ、今日も長いんだよみたいになるしな、もう難しいな。
I should be
we
doing.
tried to
You'll even leave a like.
condense what we wanted to say, but if we
I
don't
hit the
mention
flush
enough
button,
on
but
a
I forgot the
particular
shrimp isn't
job,
on the screen.
some people might get angry that, well, why didn't they talk more about my
Um,
job? And then if I talk
I should be doing crab like in a couple. Excuse me, hours. I keep hiccuping. I'm sorry. In a couple hours, I should be doing some crab, unless something happens. So yeah, come back for crab, I guess. I don't know, or don't. You're an adult. I hope you can do whatever you want. Like feed yourself. You should eat a nice, healthy meal and drink water. Anyway, I'm leaving. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. I'll see you later. Probably. Goodbye.